of all the people that you've been having on. I still don't know what Gregory the Butler does, but listen, someday maybe we'll find out about that.
The time is now, the vibe is now. I see you moving towards my way. You want me to get close to you. I feel your body next to me. Feels like you were only there for a season, but we can relink, don't need reason. Cause tonight's about you. Tonight's about you. Girl, it's the way you move. Can't nobody doubt you. Tonight's about you. Tonight's about you. Tonight's about you. I know you don't play games. I know you the same, but you still find new ways to ignite all this passion. Make all of your waves, girl. I'm truly astounded by you. She light the room like a high beam. Smooth girl, you move like lightning. True queen, everything you do mean. Head to the shoes, kill it all like it's routine. Everything she do nicely. Independent woman on her own type of vibe. She got it on her own, gone girl, you might be everything that make a young man sing. You that one dance singer. The time is now, the vibe is now. I see you moving towards my way. You want me to get close to you. I feel your body next to me. Feels like you were only there for a season, but we can relink, don't need reason. Cause tonight's about you. Tonight's about you. Girl, it's the way you move. Can't nobody doubt you. Tonight's about you. Tonight's about you.
Hey yo, TV fan, we live. Let's see some honeys in the chat. Honeys in spaces, we burn it on me tonight. Let's go.
High heels in motion. Her time heals what's broken. I know you the same, but I can't help the notion that maybe if you spend one night, we'd get close. And I don't know what that just might do. Still, girl, we can run that, what we done that. Catch a fancy, make a run back on a comeback. Girl, you know I want that scene. You I want that scene. Girl, ain't nothing that scene. Another one that's some trouble, some kill it, disrupt it, you kill it, baby, then double down. Give me, baby, make it, give me some, then she come around. I see that fire in your eyes. Let's burn this crib down for the night. The time is now, the vibe is now. I see you moving towards my way. You want me to get close to you. I feel your body next to me.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate everyone tuning in. We got Pixel Trader in the chat. Arcade, brother. Thank you for stopping by, man. Thanks again for such an amazing trip. Guys, I am so excited for today's live stream. It feels like it's been like a month, but only a week. And my lord, has a lot happened this past week. So we got Vegas to talk about. We got all the news and content that dropped from VeVe while we were away. We got DCON news and just a whole list today. So I'm super excited to get into it. Let me know, guys, if audio is good in the chat. And we're going to get right into things because we got a lot to cover here. So thank you for everyone stopping by. And we're going to get right into this here. But we have the Punisher Evolvables drop that was announced by VeVe, which we're going to get into in a bit. We have the VeVeVerse Q&A that was done by both Dan and Ben, which I've been having people DM me about this whole VeVeVerse demo that was revealed by Captain Falcon. Or not Captain Falcon, sorry, Mr. Falcon. And I got lots to talk about with that. So I haven't watched the full thing. I actually wanted to save it for the live stream. So lots to talk about in that. And then we also have a VeVe live episode with MC and Corey, which is about an hour long, which I want to watch that back with you guys and see what we do. So we got Luke's fight. We got Fro in the chat. Fro says audio's good. We got Guri. What is going on, everyone? Thanks, everyone, for stopping by. And yeah, we're gonna get right into this post first. So I dropped this earlier today at about noon, and I was kind of just summarizing some of the things that caught me off guard about this trip. So, you know, I'm sure you guys have probably heard this whole phrase about, you know, you got to make it to an in real life event. That's what everyone seems to always say when they come back from one. And it's true. It's true, long story short, but it's one of those things that for me at least, it didn't really kind of click until I experienced it. So in this post, I kind of shared some things that I didn't really expect to happen in Vegas, but they were kind of happy accidents. We got Double Quill in the chat as well. What's up? Pleasure to finally meet you, Double Quill. But yeah, so the first thing I pointed out here was people as advertised, and this was probably what was most refreshing about the trip for me. I do gotta say, I was very nervous making a trip down to Vegas. I'd never been to Vegas first off, but I mean, just kind of traveling alone to Vegas of all places is a little nerve-wracking. And then adding on top of all of that, the fact that people didn't really know what I look like. So did the whole little face reveal during this trip, and I can say that it was 100% worth it. I gotta say thank you to each and every one of the guys that I was surrounded with during this trip. I don't think the trip would have been even close to what it was if it weren't for people like some of you guys in this chat, Uri, Fro, Double Quill, Arcade, all you guys. I sincerely mean that. Everyone I hung around was pretty much exactly like they portrayed themselves online, which was super awesome. I didn't really come across anyone that ended up being a dick, part of my language, but and that was really nice to see. So from Hanano and D, we got Video Shane, Shawnee, you see in the video there, dude, that guy's energy is unmatched. We also got Atem. All you guys were just so fantastic, so thank you so much. But the next thing pertains to the artists, because this is something that I actually didn't expect either, which was how strong of a relationship I felt I was able to kind of build with some of these guys in the 2-day window that we were at the event. And I want to give a shout out to Klim here. Klim is actually the guy behind the new, is it now? I think it's Nounish, but he's also the one who runs the Big Shot account. So this man is very interesting because I had the pleasure of probably talking to him for a good 2 hours one-on-one. Out of all the time I was kind of at his booth, I kept going back and forth. And this man, I'm going to do a full video on him, but he's actually responsible for modeling and sculpting some of Ron English's work. We also have Jermaine Rogers on that list. Frank Kozik was actually his mentor. And this man's actually been in the industry for about 20 to 25 years. So he has a really strong background. He's also responsible for a very popular Iron Giant collectible that was featured at the Mondo booth. And yeah, I think this guy is super interesting. And I'm going to be working back and forth with him to kind of create a video to share a little bit more information about him, because I feel like right now the way he's kind of been presented through is as a smaller artist, and by no means is this guy small. He's a big name in the space. He's very well known. Like I said, he has the connections. So I want to do a video on him alone, and we got some of his team members behind him here. So shout out to you, Klim, for sending me this photo. Appreciate you, man. The next one here is Booski. What up, man? I appreciate you stopping by. Hope the family's doing well as well. But the other thing that was surprising to see here is that, as many of you guys know, VeVe didn't have a booth at the event, but it still felt like a VeVe event. Keeping in mind, I've never really been to one, but you know, there was groups of us walking around at the convention. There was a presence there. The artists knew that we were there as well. I was able to talk to Mumbot, Allison Bamcat, Tara McPherson, Luke Shui, Ron English, and all those guys knew that the fam was there. And then also Kid Arcade's party had a fantastic turnout. And I'm sure you guys have seen some of the videos circulating on X already, but dude, you know, if you're still watching, again, massive shout out to you. I think the amount of time and effort and energy that man puts in is unmatched right now in the community. There was a point in the Biggest Bros speech where they mentioned how he's given out, I think it's over 10,000 NFTs individually, which is insane. That takes so much time just in and of itself, on top of everything else that guy does. So shout out to you, man. If you guys aren't following him, make sure to do that. And then also another shout out to Shawnee Poo here, dude, because as you guys see in this video, Shawnee actually put together some custom artwork for everybody in the group, including myself, which you see at the end here. Nice little Black Panther not collectible, but artwork. And he's got the cucumber at the bottom because the cats jump up from it. But no, I thought that was absolutely amazing, man. Huge fan of your work. And I was telling him, I said that if he's able to qualify for the curator program where he can create content and drop it on VeVe, guys, this is a man you need to support. So huge shout out to you. Next, Open Arms. So back to arcade a little bit here. Let me get a drink. But everybody I surrounded myself with at that event welcomed me with open arms. I talked a little bit about how I was nervous on that trip. I said to Hanano and D, the plane landed. I got out of my seat and I just said to myself in my head, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I got really nervous in that moment, but it ended up being just fantastic time. So Arcade actually went as far as giving us his keys to his house just so we can kind of come and go as we please. So, you know, it was little things like that that made the trip really, really special. Got to spend some time with him at the very end of the trip as well. He actually dropped me off at the airport, which was cool, but he showed us this really cool pinball arcade, probably like 200 different pinball machines in there, probably more, of all just different kinds of stuff. Indiana Jones, Marvel stuff. I'll toss it in the final video that I end up putting together, but the place was absolutely wicked. Again, huge shout out you for that, man. And as you guys see in the video here, a little bit of his setup in real life, which was cool to see as well. If you guys watch his live streams, you're gonna recognize that right away. But the dude's house is freaking so cool. Got art all over the place, and definitely introduced me to some artists that I've never heard of that I now want to kind of look into. So that's another thing that this event did to me. I'm now going to be buying physical art a lot more. Just know I am. So, and then looking forward to next year. So that is going to be in the books for me, guys. If you're wondering what event I'm going to, it's going to be New York, and then perhaps, you know, another one, maybe. But this is definitely going to be the one I'm aiming for. But yeah, guys, this is just some points. I am putting together a full-blown video. It's probably going to be between 15-20 minutes long, and then it'll recap the full start to finish, you know, from takeoff to landing of the trip. So I hope you guys enjoy that. It should be dropping next week. But let's get into some of this VeVe content, shall we? We're going to save this article for after the video. I think MC and Corey are going to talk about it a little bit more first. But because of the DMs I'm getting about the VeVeVerse, let's watch this. I'm going to break down the entire world to kind of explain what's happening. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. So get into it.
To our VeVeVerse showcase Q&A session, and this is in response to, of course, our videos that we had in the community that you have, you know, so graciously given us your feedback. We, of course, have Dan Crothers, our co-founder and COO.
We got the biggest bro in the chat. What up, man? Hope all is well. I meant every word I said to you, my friend. Dude, that means a lot. That means a lot. And I gotta say, man, biggest bro is I mean, I said everybody is the exact same as they are online. That dude is so genuine, so positive. My trip wouldn't be even close to what it was if it weren't for that guy. So we were able to have some nice one-on-one conversation during that trip. And yeah, man, I appreciate all the words you said to me. So really appreciate the support. And I hope to hop into some Fortnite matches with you soon, you know?
Oh,
that was actually something I didn't expect this trip. I got quite a few compliments on my Fortnite content. I was not expecting that. I should have put that in the post.
And of course, Ben Rose, our co-CEO, here to help answer some of those questions today. Thank you guys for joining us today. I know this is an exciting time for our community. I'm going to jump right into the community questions and let you guys get right at it. The first question we have is actually from OBL. She posted right here, and her question actually is for Dan right here. Will the VeVeVerse be available on standalone headsets?
The headsets are absolutely a great idea. Day one, they won't be available on headset, but we don't really open to everyone's feedback, see how much demand and interest we get, and then we can go from there.
Oh, that's awesome for sure. Well, stay tuned for more announcements on that.
Check that VeVeVerse demo. Is it in this video? I saw Ed Feely post it. Can somebody let me know in the chat where that video is from? Oh no, it is here. Oh, no, never mind. No, so it's not in this video.
Ben, for you,
I can pull up the one that Ed posted, but it was just really blurry. So if somebody can tell me where the original one is, that'd be awesome.
Slunk 007, and that community member there, we all know them well. Is Q1, the Q1 rollout, is that for all users, or are we going to do this in stages?
Yep, though it is for all users. Whenever you deploy a new thing, it doesn't just go live instantly, so it will happen gradually. But yeah, absolutely, that's the plan. Have it live for everybody in Q1.
Doc of Stuff is up next. Thanks, Doc of Stuff. You know him as a YouTube channel and as a content creator. And so Dan, he's asked us how many people can be in a showroom at one given time.
When we roll out day one, we're going to allow around 30 people in a showroom at a time. And then as we assess the performance, the complexity of the space, etc., we can look to increase that number. But day one, 30 people.
30 is not a bad number at all. I have no complaints about that.
Sounds like a party. Next up is from Chris Severs. You know Chris Severs very well, another content creator, and of course writes those amazing blogs. He's asking right here for you, Ben.
Evolve,
can mint
what's
numbers
going on,
be displayed on our collectibles and comics? He is a mint hunter specialist for comic books, so I know that he's really interested in that.
Yeah, sure. So Chris, and you've asked me this a couple of times, I think. So look, the answer is on day one, no. On day one, the plan is to launch it MVP as it is. What you will find is a feedback loop to give us your feedback on exactly what you want to see done differently. So in just the same way that as on our web app, comics and collectibles, there's a button in the bottom right-hand side that says feedback. That goes straight to our product team for consideration. That's how we're going to be operating with the VeVeVerse. So we're going to go.
That makes sense. Evolve, time for a reveal, my friend. Yes, sir. So thank you for reminding me. I got a little doxed this last trip. So yeah, my identity is out there now. So I am looking at cameras, guys. It's just going to be something I kind of ease into. If that makes sense, bear with me, but I'm not too familiar with the camera world, so I am looking at options. If you guys know any good models to get, let me know. But yeah, long story short, it is coming. Just bear with me as I kind of ease into it. So Fro says the world is a better place because it's bro. Absolutely. I agree with that 1,000%.
Live, we're going to get feedback from people, what they'd like to see done differently. That's an example. And we're also going to look at user behavior and see what people are really engaging with as well. So, yeah, day one, no. In the future, possibly. Please give us your feedback and let's have a look at it.
Sounds great. Now, we have another question from the general public right here from all of our community and specifically from Legendary Leads. But a lot of people ask this question. Are we going to be able to read the comics in the VeVeVerse right away? This is for Dan.
Yeah. Thanks, Aaron. Right, on day one, the focus is going to...
Oh, okay. Hang on a sec. Are we going to be able to read the comics day one? I think we said when they showed us the comics that when they were placing the comic in the showroom, it was showing like the double pages and then it like scaled back down to the one. I'm hoping we can, but I mean, the other thing that comes to mind is like the processing capabilities, because I feel like if you have a full comic book that you can open, it's going to take a lot for your system. So, and then if you have like 30 in your space,
going to be setting up your comic book covers in the
Evolve says no.
VeVeVerse. So you better display them on walls, set up shelves, create your own comic book store if you want to. But the actual reading experience, we're really taking that, to heart. We want to make sure that the reading experience is very good, and that's why the majority of the focus around reading is in our VeVe Comics Reader app. So day one, no, but as Ben says, there is going to be a feedback loop. We'll see how many people are interested in it. and then we can work out, what the sort of the technical effort is for us to be able to do that.
Wubba wub.
Okay, technical effort. Yeah, I mean, okay, so I'm somebody who buys comics for the art, so I don't really have too much to say about that one because I don't really sit down and read them. So I'm happy with just kind of placing them on the wall and admiring the cover. I do see that I would understand why some people would be upset here, though, not being able to read them in first, but fucking no. Biggest Bro said I sent the link to the video timestamp 30. Perfect. Thank you so much. The live stream. Oh, okay.
Wubba asks,
That's what we're watching
Dan.
next, so.
We know Wubba Wubba. Can we play music in the VeVeVerse? I think they wanted to have a party here is kind of what they're thinking.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's the best place for a party, right? With 30 people.
Can you imagine he said no there and they have VeVe vibes with the jukebox? Oh my lord.
So very similar to our existing showroom. If you own, like, for example, the Ron English jukebox and Ron English records, yes, you will be able to play that music from day one as you will be able to do right now.
Oh, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Now, back to you, Ben. Spatty, as we know, is asking about the beta testers that we actually have. We have another question for them coming up a little bit later here. But they're asking about the NDAs and if they're going to be lifted soon. Will they be able to share their vaults and everything?
Yeah, so the answer is yes. We're working through the timings and how we roll that out at the moment. So we obviously have now revealed what the VeVeVerse is going to look like on day one. Between now and the launch itself, what we want to do is we want to share some of those amazing creations that the beta testers have put together in the VeVeVerse. And so we're just working through a bit of a plan to make sure we've got all our ducks in a row. We do that well. But yeah, absolutely, that's certainly coming.
That's great right here. And
hey, VeVe, it's about damn time. Oh my. Oh, that's great news. That's the best question so far. I assume that's why they're showing Mr. Falcon's content, which I'm excited to see. But yeah, we need more VeVeVerse
and
content
back
for
to you,
sure.
Dan. Will there be available on mobile? Like, will the VeVeVerse be able to be used on your phone and log in and look around?
Absolutely. VeVe is something like 87% mobile, so that really is our key focus. So we're doing a lot of hard work on the mobile experience right now. We want to make sure that it's obviously accessible across the majority of devices out there, has enough functionality to be really fun. There will be some differences between the desktop and the mobile version. Obviously, desktop computing has a lot more power. But to answer your question, absolutely, we'll be on mobile.
Okay, it's 87% mobile because mobile dominates on platforms, well, on like web browsing platforms like that. In the gaming space, it's different though. So I wouldn't necessarily say mobile should be the focus for the VeVeVerse. It's awesome that they have that option, but it's 87% because one, they had the mobile app for the longest time. But then two, if you go onto any website, like if you go onto Amazon, most purchases on Amazon are made through either the app or just going onto your phone onto the website. So that's just, I mean, mobile dominates that department, not necessarily gaming though.
That's great. This is another general question right here for Ben right here. Will there...
Evolve says, I can't wait to stream building in there. Dude, that's the first thing I'm doing. I want to just dive through the library, see all the materials, and just kind of start messing around with the building. Would be dope to do a series with you. 100%, man. And we can definitely talk about that.
Be a VeVe city with purchasable lands and properties, etc. This question has come in from a lot of different users in different ways, but that's the general sense of it.
Yeah, so look, straight answer is on day one, no. On day one, as we've said, it's going to be, think of it as a series of microverses. You're going to have your space, other people are going to have their spaces, and you can go into each other's and interact. So it's a place for people to come together in those spaces. So that's what it's going to look like on day one. If there are other things that people want to see, as I've said, the approach we're taking with this, and it's an approach that we will be taking with a lot of our product enhancements and launches over in the future, is to launch, be really clear about what that looks like on day one, and then go to the community and say, what else would you like to see?
Would there be an outside to the vault, as been shown before? As I know that preview was inside and we saw all the beautiful stuff there. A lot of people have been asking about outside the vault.
Absolutely. I mean, keep in mind that...
Okay, now we're getting a little repetitive, I'm not going to lie. Outside the vault was the original demo, so...
That was a vault or a showroom that I built from scratch. There is actually a big outside area with trees and some of my cool sort of outdoor collectibles. So it actually really depends how people want to build. So in the advanced mode, absolutely yes, you can create outdoor, you can create indoor. In the more simple mode, where you'll have a series of sort of showrooms, they will also have an outside area. So absolutely, we want to see those.
When he said, I think what he means there's the default spaces. Because there was some confusion, I think, before. Like, he was explaining how there's 2 different modes, and people took that literally. I don't think you're going to log in and it's going to go, you know, advanced and simple mode. Like, what they mean is, if you have more advanced skills, you can build more advanced stuff. But if you don't want to go that route, you can kind of just, you know, spawn into a default environment where there's, you know, already a building kind of built for you or something like that. That's what he means, I think, between the 2 modes.
Lambos, those Maseratis under the nice virtual sun.
That's amazing for sure. Ben, right back to you right here. This is another general question. A lot of people have asked this one as well. Will there be a central hub that everyone can kind of go to and hang out in?
So that's not something we're going to have live on day one. There are lots of possibilities of what you could do with this and where you could go. So we're really wanting to look and see how people are using these spaces that exist. So are they going and visiting others? Are they going there in groups? Are they doing hangouts? Because if that's something that, you know, is a want and a need, then that's something we would have a look at. So look, on day.
Okay. Yeah, I don't agree with this answer. Look, if you look at other platforms like VR chat, you know exactly what people are going to do. People want to converse. People want the social aspect. I'm actually surprised that they don't have a communal spot here. I mean, especially considering how long this is taken. They were talking about a Marvel showroom and all that, which I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I think some people at like San Diego Comic-Con, or it was Anaheim way back when, actually saw it in the VR headset. So if you guys are building out spaces like that, I would really hope for, you know, a centralized or a communal space. I mean, even if you need to run like your own server or something so you have more than 30 people in it, that's something that I think is essential for sure. There's no testing needed for that. Especially our community, and given what just happened in Vegas. I mean, events like that's not the first event where that's happened, of course. But I mean, we just had a community member run a party for the community at an event where VeVe never had a booth, and it felt like a VeVe event. So that exact same thing is going to happen in the... No testing needed to confirm that.
But again, back to that feedback loop. If that's something that people want to see and it's something they feel that's missing, tell us so, and we can have a think about it.
That sounds great. This question is for the both of you, and this is one of our last questions right here. This is going back to the beta testers that have been in there creating amazing stuff. Will they be able to show off their creations?
Yes, they will. Once the NDA is lifted, and obviously we need to do a little bit of review of some of those spaces. But you know, ideally, we really want the beta testers to be able to share what they've done, because you know, some of the content, the worlds that they've created are absolutely amazing, and they've put a lot of effort and hours into it. So if it was me, I would absolutely want to be able to show it off.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, guys. That covers just a few of the questions that have come in, of course, from the community. We will be looking for more questions coming from you. And
all right, so that is that video. You guys want to add any thoughts in the chat? I don't really have too much to add other than what I've already said, but I'm just hoping that those invites come sooner in Q1 than later. Because Q1 is a few months, right? So, but next I wanna kind of watch back some of this video. We were just talking about the VeVeVerse, so why don't we actually just jump to that video first, and then we'll watch back all the other stuff. Like I said, I think some people are asking how certain things are made in this space, and so I want to try and break it down here. By the way, Lamborghini Miura, this is the model I've been waiting for. I was so happy to see this. I'm so excited that they're dropping it in yellow too, because that is the color you need this car in.
Taste of what you'll be able to make your own sound. We can do some.
Okay, so here we are. Back a little bit. All right, so this is my first time seeing it. I've seen like the very, very beginning intro right here, and that's pretty much it. So we'll watch it through first, and then I'll play it back after.
We're actually not muted, I think, so we can do some narration over this. But yeah, this is his haunted house. So like, he had a bunch of different showrooms. Look at these cylinders with the balls that he put in there to kind of simulate the water boiling.
Yeah, the stairwell going up. I love what he did with the mask up there, the Bond mask.
Yeah. He did a fade on that mask.
It's coming
Oh,
up
that's
right
cool.
here.
I like the
You see
fade.
this?
That's nice.
I mean, just crazy. And this is, of course, thanks Falcon for agreeing to come on and share this. I mean, this is the stuff he's built. This is just a one taste of it. Look at the Murmurcorno heads.
Look at the
there.
little machine.
What did he do to
behind him.
those
I like that.
Murmurcornos? Unacceptable.
Yeah, it's
We're
crazy.
sorry, Tokidoki. Simone Leño, don't come for us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people are asking about what's happening here, which I'll
this little
explain.
taste right there. That was a lot of fun. We can play it
that's the
again in
whole-
just a minute.
yeah.
But
Okay, so
but
that's
Corey,
the whole video. Okay, so yeah, I mean, again, 95% of the things you're seeing in the space is gonna be simple shapes, but break it down. We got VeVe Wheels in the chat. Nothing but love to my community, dude. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you as well. Thanks for stopping by as always. You're always in our chats, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Pooski says the feedback loop seems to be the way forward since Ben started. I don't mind if they can make things happen fast. Yeah, I don't mind that either. I don't really have. Well, I have no complaints about Ben. I really like the guy. I think he's making some moves for the business. I was on Informant's stream earlier, and he was talking about how they're never going to be in a position to make everyone happy, and I completely agree. So, I mean, regardless of what their decision is, and whether next round's going to be all users or some users, people are going to be upset either way, which they've already confirmed is all users, but that's just... Okay, so we got the green lighting, all simple shapes to make the building. We got the Ready Player Me avatar. I'm trying to tell how he made the environment around the house. I think it's not a skybox. There's actual objects here. I just can't tell what the objects are. It might just be like rocks. The lighting's just too low. Shadow on the wall for something. Okay, so what's happening here? So these black dots, these are particle effects. So you'll have the option of dropping particles, and then what you can do is go into the properties of those particles. It's going to be like a little gear icon, and you can change certain things. So you can change the color of the particle, change the size, you can change how fast they're moving. You can change the width, like length and width and all that type of stuff. So there's a bunch of different customizations that you'll have for each and every object that you can place in the world, including certain collectibles. So you can change the color of Thor's lightning from blue to red or something like that, right? So that's all you're seeing here with the balls. It's just the particle effect, and he's enlarged them and changed the color. All of these are going to be simple shapes. Some of these might even just be like default items that they're given, but it looks like all of this is simple shapes. He used cylinders and flattened them. Same thing with the glass. He used a cylinder, enlarged it, and just textured it as a glass. Same with all of this. Simple shapes, all blocks, and then he just chooses whatever texture he wants to kind of color it, right? Think of it as a drawing. So you draw it, and then you color it after. I like the lighting, though. Lighting helps a lot in Worlds. I've always talked about that. Guri says... Arcade, Cricket, Biggest Bro, and so many others put in a lot of time to create the Vegas party. Sanjay put together parties. The community is doing so much, and I remain in gratitude. Yes, dude, I can't even say it better than that. But yeah, our community is unmatched. And just going back to my previous points about whether they need to do testing to determine whether people want like a social space in the VeVeVerse or not, that's just, no. We want that. We obviously want that. So, yeah, Guri, dude. Thanks for adding that in. Absolute pleasure meeting you as well. Evolve says it's actually very easy to use once you get everything figured out. Awesome to hear. Not a large learning curve. I like what he did here with the fading. Not gonna lie, don't exactly know how he did this. I'm wondering if there's like a block in the wall and he's using this circle to kind of hide that, and then there's actual like space here where you put the mask in. That would be my guess, but I don't entirely know here. He just missed a little bit before that. Cornos. Yeah, all simple shapes with the lighting. This is all simple shapes. Really like what he did with the machine back here. There's a couple things that come to mind here. There's a script. Well, I don't know if it's scripting, but you can pretty much move an object from one spot to another spot in the world. And what he might be doing is just having cylinders that go up and down here, and the bottom of that cylinder is being hit in the object. Or this might actually be a full like model that's available in the library. I don't know. But either way, it looks good. Got the collectible here, more lighting. Booski says Ben has taken the reins and is moving forward nicely, in my opinion. Nice to see someone with authority really step up communications and be real with his answers. He seems to know how much of a fumble communications have been. Yeah, I agree with that. I was saying to some people in Vegas that I think Ben came in and kind of immediately picked up on some of this stuff. VeVeVerse being one of them. Yuri says, yes, you're amazing a person. Oh, thanks, dude. Making me emotional over here. Thanks for suggesting the Pawn Stars shop. Yes, we actually stopped by the infamous Pawn Stars shop in Vegas. For anyone who knows that, I was gonna say series, but store. Either one works, but that was super cool to walk inside. And I recognized it immediately when I went inside. They didn't change anything up. Same layout as the show and everything, so... that will be in the video as well. He's got the Unicorno, or Mermicorno, I can't remember which. In the little, on the little table. This is a simple shape as well, so I think that's how he did all this. Okay, so this right here, same thing as what I was talking about with the cylinders. So you can move a collectible from one spot to the other. And that's pretty much what they've done here. They just have it moving from one coordinate to the other. You can use that in many different ways. I can do a video on that too, actually. We got Notorious in the chat. What up, man? How hard is it to build stairs? Well, I got two answers for that. They may have stairs available in the default library, in which case you can just, drop the full thing in. Or you can use just, a basic cube and kind of stretch and play with the cube to build the stairs yourself, which, is going to take a little bit more time, but if you got the creativity, you can kind of build a little bit more with that. So, depends on how you look at it. We got Duck in the chat. What up, man? And congrats on the new collectible win. I heard about that. This house/chamber in the VeVeVerse demo, I hope, is out of the box. Making the whole house will take a long time. I think they had mentioned in their original demo that the house that they had showed was a default house. I might be wrong there, but I would be very surprised if they don't have stuff like that available because of how many people have already made the comments, like Double Quill, for example. Not to throw her under the bus, but about how they don't really want to focus on building, right? So... and I asked Ben that question in our interview. I said, how are you guys going to cater to both sides? You have the builders versus people who just want to explore and enjoy the social aspect. So, I mean, right there, if you acknowledge both sides, you understand that one's taken care of really well with all the building tools, but you got to make sure that the other is taken care of as well. And I think things like having the default homes is one way of doing that. Duck says was pretty jerky when he went up the stairs to make him. He made himself. Yeah, so this is something I'm not fully certain about yet, but when I was in the cavernous demo, I could just walk through all the objects. So I'm pretty sure what you need to do is you need to toggle on a setting for certain objects in the world so that you don't actually walk through them. And then if you don't have that setting toggled on, then you will be able to walk through them. That's also something though that is in VR chat. So I can hop into some worlds and I'll see an option of toggling on barriers. And if I toggle that on, then when I go over to a couch, I'll like walk up onto the couch. Whereas if I have it off, then I'll walk into the couch and it kind of feels like I'm actually sitting in it a little bit more. So there's ups and downs to a feature like that for sure. Duck says, cheers, man. Already sold it. Not into Batman, but I'll take the free 75 gems. There you go. There you go. Buy what you love. I think they said that he built that from scratch. Let's get stairs too. Yeah, the one in this demo is all built from scratch. I can tell the stairs are built as well. Yeah, he probably used the measurement tool to just make sure that they're even. There wasn't much wall texture in either demo. That might also just come down to the textures he actually used. Like right here, you can see the actual texture, but it's a dark environment, so if there was more lighting, it would show up. But it also depends on which ones you want to use. That's a big thing in Blender too, actually. Hey, by the way, we got a purple VeVeVerse logo here. I'm digging that. Hey, can we stick with this? I like this a lot more than the blue. I'm being picky here, but come on. Okay. All right. Let's, what do they talk about here? We got DesignerCon.
There it is.
Hey, it's about the anticipation, Corey. You can't just you know, you have to like
fair.
So we had the amazing DCON stuff. Yeah, big shout out to Kid Arcade for the amazing party. Obviously, if you go over to his socials and everybody else who's posting about the party they had, absolutely incredible. VeVe donated 10 giveaways for that. I know there was lots of other stuff that they did as well, including art that Arcade did as well. So make sure you check over to to Arcade's YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed there, and also follow him on X and everybody else. And later today, actually, we'll talk about it a bit later. But our good friend Millie is going to be hosting an X Space, and it's a State of the Union, and they're going to be doing a whole DCON wrap up, like a whole.
Yeah, and speaking of actually Arcade's art, so the venue that they did the party at, he had a bunch of his artwork on display, which was super awesome. He was also telling us about like restaurants around the city where he's done murals inside of them, and then. Inside of some of the, I guess, like goodie bags that people had won as prizes, he also had more artwork in there on top of other stuff that some of the licensors had actually brought, which was really cool. So I was talking about Klim from Nourish. He actually ended up bringing by a full box of his collectibles as giveaways for the event. Which wasn't actually originally planned. Apparently it had to do with some of us who had talked to him at the booth, and he just got super hyped up about the party and just ended up bringing a bunch of stuff over to kind of help out. So stuff like that also happened, which was really nice to see. So
recap,
which I don't know if MC and Corey knew this, but yeah, some of the licensors contributed to that as well. So
we're gonna help sponsor that too with giveaway as well.
And very presidential. I mean, it's the right time for that. Amazing.
Hey, we got OBL in the chat. Did I miss the Vegas recap? We're kind of talking about it here and there. We talked a little bit about it at the beginning of the video. I'll probably talk more about it at the end. I might even open my folder from Vegas DCON 2024 with all the footage I took and show you some what is it called, uncut clips or whatever it's called. So that I'll be using for the final video. But that's a maybe. Still thinking about that.
It's 100%. And they're just going to bring on guests and everybody to share their experiences about DCON.
Oh, hold up. Off topic, but what's the tweet VeVe just posted? Oh god, get out of here. It has to do, so this banana, I'm pretty sure I saw an article about this. I'm pretty sure this banana was taped onto a wall as a joke in a museum, and now it's fetching like 1.5 million or something like that. Some dude walked into a museum and taped this on the wall, and it wasn't an actual art piece, and somebody offered money for it. If this is what I'm thinking of, it might be something else, but No, it's not about Fortnite. It's not. It's not about Fortnite. Which, speaking of Fortnite, guys, they actually just dropped kicks, which is really cool. I have a scheduled post, I think, going out soon about that. So they just dropped kicks, and speaking of the conversation that Ben and I had, where he kind of flipped my perspective on this, this is a fantastic thing for the digital space. I know they're not NFTs, but we now have Nike and Jordans, so shoe collecting is now a thing on Fortnite. It's like a whole new cosmetic category. So, yeah, this should be pretty interesting to see. So, yeah, that's coming out soon. Yeah, that's I think that's just an art piece. It would be hilarious if VeVe dropped that on the platform. Hilarious, but also dumb at the same time. Back to the video.
I mean, we're going to talk about the drops here, right, today, which is good. But make sure you head over to, to both of those places, today to find out more about, like, the community aspect of things, which is so absolutely amazing.
The fun stuff,
right? Yeah, the fun stuff. This is the drop stuff, though, which was absolutely amazing. Now,
How did Elmonex get on Fortnite already? It's because of their work with Patrick Hughes. So the Patrick Hughes pieces that dropped were in collaboration with Elmonex, and then I think there were also a couple other drops that I'm less familiar with.
Actually got lucky on the Nounish drop. I got the secret rare.
Did you really?
Yeah, with I landed.
So get this, an hour into my trip in Vegas, I break my damn phone, and it will semi-broke it. So my phone still works. It was the screen that broke. So funny enough, I would actually still get calls and my alarms would go off, but I couldn't shut it off. So I found that out the hard way because I got woken up at 4 a.m. my first night to my phone going off, the alarm, and like the alarm for like my time back home. And I couldn't shut it off for an hour and a half in the hotel room. I was like ripping my hair out at this point. I had to like do the emergency shutdown. But yeah, that was the little hiccup that I had. So my main phone broke, but luckily I actually just got a second one right before the trip to be able to take photos and videos because my storage was low, but also older camera. So yeah, got back home, upgraded the phone, got the new Pixel 9, those who care enough. But yeah, I couldn't go for any of the designer con drops on VeVe. I had to come back and catch up. So kind of like a happy accident, I guess, because I ended up spending a little less money than I probably would have, but I would have liked to get some of these.
And the Nounish, Big Shot, they were just the most fun for us to work with. Their whole team was really communicative, and they gave us some like really awesome videos. So those were like so much fun for us to take and, do a little bit of minor editing too. But yeah, loved working with them. I hope that is a relationship we get to do a lot more of in the future. What a great team.
I know, and putting those like Noggles glasses on everything has been hilarious. Check out the video.
Hey, nice video. I didn't see this. I like this a lot. Double Quill says that guy was really nice at the booth and the party. Yes, I will second that. And for anyone just joining the stream, guys, this man, and nothing against VeVe, but he's been presented almost as a smaller artist. He's not. He's been in the space for, I think it was 20 or 25 years, he said. But he's done work with Jermaine Rogers. He sculpted his pieces, sculpted Ron's piece. And to be more specific there, he's actually responsible for the supersized for Ron English. He's the one who actually made it. So a lot of back and forth work for that one, he said. Frank Kozik was his mentor. So he's worked with Frank for a number of years as well. But this is his first IP of his own on the platform. But he's done work with other artists that are already on VeVe, as well as a whole list of others. So he's a super impressive guy. And on top of all that, he's very passionate as well. So I had a really lengthy conversation about the VeVeVerse with him. And, you know, just his vision for the digital side of his collectibles. You know, he talked about all the points we've heard about in the past about, you know, storage and you know, the collectibles not degrading and stuff like that. But he shared some really interesting points that I'll share in the full video about him. But, you know, some visions that he has for his collectibles, little mini games and things like that. You know, he's super passionate, and I'm happy to support this guy moving forward for all his drops. I think anyone in the community who is passionate about collecting, but passionate about, you know, where the digital side is going should do the exact same thing. And hopefully my video that breaks down, you know, a lot more about his IP background and his team's passionate as well. It'll help people understand a little bit more about what I'm trying to say here. But Duck says, these guys are so cool. Can't wait for Series 2. Yeah, I love their collectibles. Love the team even more, though.
I just had to play that again.
It's a bop.
Or he said, I heard Kid Arcade version of this with him rhyming over this. I did not see that. Where is that, dude?
Right? Like, that's a bop. One of the
listen
first
to
things
that.
I asked him whenever they sent that video over, I was like, where did you get the music? Like, do I need to license that? And they're like, we made that in-house music. And I was like, you all are amazing, right? Like, not only is that music a bop, they made it themselves. Love everything about that. Shark's my favorite. What's your favorite of those?
Oh, probably the builder right there, because it's the secret rare, and I landed it as well. But I love them all. I made a few little fun creations on my Twitter page as well, just for.
Okay, so here's another story that comes to mind. So I happened to talk to Klim the day before his drop, and I asked him, I said, are you excited about tomorrow's drop? And he goes, dude, I don't really know what to expect. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. And I go, what are you hoping to get out of it? And he goes, I really hope that we start to see people taking photos of the glasses on different collectibles. And so I go to the booth first thing in the morning after the drop, and I walk up, he's talking to somebody, he turns around, my hands go in the air, I'm like, so, what do you think? And he was like, dude, that drop was so cool. I'm so happy with how things went. He sent me a DM after the show saying the community's rad and that he's so happy to be here. But I said, are you starting to get, tagged a lot? Like, are you seeing your collectibles in AR? And he said, he held up his phone and he showed me a photo of, I think it was Elsa wearing the red goggles. And I said, there you go, man. Already happening. So he was super happy with how things went. And, he definitely appreciates our community. Like I said, he brought all those collectibles to the after party as well. So really, really enjoyed meeting this guy.
For fun. Like, I couldn't help it. In the first 20 minutes, I like put 3 or 4 of them together. They're dancing around. I put the noggles on Jabba the Hutt, which I don't know, is like.
I regret not getting the physicals. They were selling them for only $10. The biggest bro was wearing them. I'm sure you guys probably seen the videos with those, but yeah, they're super cool.
And everybody's been doing all sorts of silly stuff with them, but yeah, this is a big project. This is a big community, and we're just starting to connect to. It's
another thing that we could potentially see with these in the future. He showed us this at the booth, was an AR feature where if you bought any of the physical collectibles, you could scan a code and then it gives you kind of like an AR filter on Snapchat, where if you hold your camera up to your face, one of these guys' heads pops up. And you can kind of use it. It's like the kid called Beast, if you guys know that. So you can kind of be the character. So that's another feature that they have, and you could see it on on VeVe with the collectibles.
Pretty cool. And like if you're I mean, they're all animated. They're all a lot of fun, right? So that was one of the featured ones from the weekend that we ended the weekend off with. That was a lot of fun, right? Did you end up? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right with the community, because it was also cool seeing how much they were posting across socials and how much of the posting was basically their fans, their fandom, like everyone wearing the glasses, like loved it. Love them.
Oh, yeah. 100%. And then, of course, let's just go back here, right here. We had, of course, another Ron English record drop, number 4. This one's really cool. And you know what's really cool about this? I know because we were doing the VeVeVerse stuff.
So, super cool story about Ron is at the beginning of DCON first day, it was VIP night. So if you had a certain ticket, you'd be able to get in, but there was definitely less people on this night than there was the main days, right? And the Saturday and the Sunday. And so maybe within the first 15 minutes of walking into the convention with Oz and the others, I turn around and Ron's just standing there getting a drink at a booth that has no one there. So, of course, I take the opportunity to walk up, introduce myself, and we have like a nice 30-40 minute one-on-one conversation with him and his wife. And in that moment, like right at the very beginning of my whole DCON experience, I could tell that I was very pleased that I chose DCON as opposed to a Comic-Con for my first experience. Because, I mean, I'm somebody who's just naturally more attracted to the art side of things. And so, not only seeing all the cool art and meeting the artists, there was a lot of things at that event that I came across that I didn't expect to see. Like one that stands out to me was a blind box skateboard. And these skateboards were like intricately carved. There was a set of 4 with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The box, if you flip it over, it shows you all the rarities, and then the secret rares at the bottom had the question mark on it, so you didn't know what they looked like. And I asked them, I was like, guys, have you considered doing like a fidgetal with these? Like this would be amazing. And just seeing stuff like that opened my eyes. It gave me a different perspective. I mean, towards what you can see at conventions like that, because I think that at a Comic-Con, not only do I feel like in a place like New York, it's very shoulder to shoulder, but it's a different audience. We had Chris Brown at the DCON, right? Like he came by to do signings. He was at DCON, and he was buying art. He was at the Astro Boy. At Comic-Con, yeah, there's a ton of celebrities and stuff like that, but it's a lot more cosplay, comic focused. And I just really I really appreciated the atmosphere at this DCON. So I just wanted to share that for anyone kind of trying to figure out which one to go to first, because I think that they are 2 very different events. Keeping in mind, I've never been to a Comic-Con, but I get that vibe from just seeing videos. So Double Quill says the vendors in general seem positive about VeVe. Duck says, did you see the decks that ELP were selling? So cool. Okay, yes, I tried to get one, they sold out. So I wanted to, my biggest thing was trying to ship it back. I didn't know how to get it back. So I walked by the booth, I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna think about it. And then when I wanted to go back and get it, because I thought it was just such cool wall art, they unfortunately had sold out. But to my surprise, dude, they were only going for $60, which is an insane price for something like that, but really cool piece of artwork. I did see it, unfortunately did not grab it though. We got Vegan Things in the chat, what up? Uri says, I missed the Noggles as well. Yes, $10, but I think they do sell them on their website. So if anyone is interested, you can check them out.
Earlier, like
I'm gonna skip this, to be honest, because I don't think any people are really interested in the music right now. We need to see different artists.
And of course, we had Matt Gondek. So this is another great one as well. I mean, talk about amazing art. I know he actually he showed up in one of the Twitter spaces or so that was happening that weekend. I believe it just kind of showed up and was chatting a bit about his work right here. So there's a lot more to Matt Gondek's stuff. I hope you.
$60, dude. $60, $60 US. I was blown away when I heard that. Because if it wasn't for the shipping thing, I would have just gone, yep, right on the spot. But, yeah. Another day, another time, I guess. But that Gondek's drop here, as much as I love the guy, I'm a huge fan of his work. This drop is very odd to me because it looks like it's incomplete. And I assume that this is done on purpose, but it's like all of this gray texturing here. This is the default texture that you have. Just open up Blender so you guys actually see. Like, look. It's this is the default texture. Okay? So, like, what this looks like is they modeled the collectible, right? And then they only applied textures to certain parts and just left the rest as like untextured, which is really weird to me. So as much as I love the guy, that's why I haven't grabbed this piece, but let me know what you guys are thinking in the chat. I'm definitely a bigger fan of his artwork, like the 2D artwork, his murals and stuff like that. But cool concept, just don't like the actual final, I guess, design. Say, but what else we got here?
Oh, wearing some.
I wasn't able to.
Okay, Nina. Let's talk about Nina, because Nina is so sweet. She's actually still in school for, she said, for 3D modeling, and then she's learning something called Substance Painter, which is how you texture 3D models. But what was so neat about the conversation with Nina is, again, another one-on-one conversation with her. I walked up to her booth first day, and she wasn't there. So I came back next day, and fortunately, she was actually there by herself with, by herself, and then one of her, it looks like team members had come by who helped, like, run the booth. But she didn't know, actually, if her drop sold out or not. And so, me and Oz were the ones to actually tell her that. And when she found out, she got really excited. And she leaned over to her teammate, and she was like, yeah, it did actually sell out. And so we started to learn, you know, a lot more about her as an artist. But what's interesting about her is apparently what she collects is a lot different from like her own art style. So she's into a lot of, forgive me if I butcher this, but like horror comics and like a completely different genre. And yeah, so I asked her a little bit about how she got involved with VeVe, and she talked about how, you know, David approached her at a DCON, and, you know, things kind of went from there. Yeah, I wanted to share that because I thought it was funny. She didn't know her drop sold out, and I was super happy to find out it did. So in the full video that I post about Vegas, I will also have a little section in there where she was on stage. She did like a little speech at an interview, and I was able to record some of that. So I'll make sure to include that in there. But super sweet girl, and yeah, new artist on the platform. And then this is more of her stuff as well. Oh, sorry, this is some. Sorry.
Told us, you know, that was a.
They've been doing pretty good for sure, right? So I think all these drops did really well. I think the fam really came through for DCON. You know,
Coming through for artists and creators and creatives. Yeah. That's what I like to see. Like, we love our big brands, but man, we love our creators too, the actual artists, the actual sweat behind all.
You guys love the big brands, you love the artists, but make sure you reach back out to them. That's all I got to say.
Love it.
Oh, Kryptoni, I showed Paloma her artwork for the first time, and she hadn't seen it yet, and took a picture with her in AR. That's pretty cool. There we go. We got OM Dub in the house. How you doing? Good to see you guys today. Everybody's here. Look, we got Eno's here. Super Rush. Of course, there's Josh. Thanks so much again for moderating today. A lot of questions have been coming in about Evolvables. And
all right, let's start getting into this because there's quite a bit to talk about.
You'll get more information as we release the articles. Of course, you guys have seen the Punisher. We're gonna.
If it's not Pulverine, I can't think of what it could be. It's not Pulverine, dude. It's not Fortnite. It's I'm pretty sure it has to do. It's them trolling. I was saying earlier about how some dude walked into a museum and stuck a banana on a wall with a piece of tape, and then some guy walked by it thinking it was actual artwork and offered 1.5 million for it. So, like, that's the whole story behind that banana with the tape.
Talk about that in just a sec, right, Corey? Yeah. But a lot of the questions that are coming in are actually answered in the article right here, just so you guys know. So just make sure you have a chance to read it. Of course, we'll have more explainers, and with the actual drop that's coming for the first one, there'll be a whole article just around that drop itself with all the details. So
if you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. If you're watching over on X, toss the follow. It goes a long way. I appreciate each and every one of you guys.
It'll become clearer as we move along. But Corey, this isn't going to be like replacing all of our drops, right? Just to reiterate, what is the Evolvables drop going to be like? Mixed in, or?
Yeah, essentially for select IPs and select experiences, we'll use the Evolvable suite, essentially. So we've added that as a suite, an additional way that we can release. So we've got our blind boxes, single releases, crafting mechanics, and Evolvables, just sort of the formal name that we've given this awesome process. And as the blog says, this is the first time, you know, Punisher will be the very first Evolvables drop, but we are able to tweak and adjust things over time. So please feedback. You know, we hope you love it. I think you're going to. I know I'm going to love it. But if there are things that you want to be changed, that's why it has been created in the way.
I got a funny story about this drop. I'll explain it in 1 second.
But yeah, it's not going to be every single drop. It's going to be select drops for select IPs. But it's a really cool experience. I'll be doing another video sort of on me talking with Dan. Maybe I can get Ben and I can get David to hop in there. But we're going to talk through it, kind of do one of those old school explainers where we just go through each stage. But yeah, most of the information should be in that blog. But feel free to hit us with feedback or questions.
For sure.
The VeVeVerse, are we going to be able to walk around outside and enter showrooms?
Just one question here about the VeVeVerse. So yeah, you can walk around outside, inside. In fact, if you watch that video that we put out, you can actually go 30 people in the showroom and hang out all together. And so people can come to your room. So
on day one.
On day one. And if this is a lot of the stuff that's happening on day one for the VeVeVerse.
We got Rome in the chat. What's going on? Duck says maybe it's Banana Man. If you don't know Banana Man, check him out on YouTube. I will. Bubble Quill says Banana Man theme now in my head.
First is day one, and then we're going to progress it as they have said. So, you know, we're going to let day one get out, get everyone in there, you know, see how everyone's reacting to it. This is Ben and Dan's words exact pretty much on our video on our YouTube channel. You guys should check that out. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But I just want to touch on this.
Have you released the Q&A for the
yeah, the Q&A video is live on our YouTube channel, so everybody can go there. I'll actually show you where that is in just a minute right here. Actually, I can show it to you right now since we have it on screen. Down here, VeVeVerse Q&A right here is live 2 days ago. Already 2,500 views or something like that. 5 collectibles in a set. Common, a secret, rare. And the complete set, you must own all 5. However, for the first time, you can actively transform your digital items through the Evolvables model, which enables you to purchase multiple editions of a collectible and burn them as part of an upgrade process, permanently removing the earlier editions from circulation to unlock rare versions. There are 5 rarity tiers, starting at common and culminating in the elusive secret rare.
All right, makes sense.
So, for example, if you wanted to secure a secret rare in Evolvables drop, you must burn a common to craft an uncommon, then burn an uncommon to craft the rare, and so on through to the secret rare. That's how it works, everybody. In addition to burning the previous rarities, you must also burn MCP points to attain the next rarity. But
I've been seeing some people talk about that. You guys like that feature or no? Having to burn the MCP points. Let me know. Where am I in the chat here? VeVe Zombie, what up? Justin's son, the creator of Tron Crypto, bought the banana art piece. Oh, okay. There we go. A little bit more news on the banana with tape. Double Quill says, I'm so glad the Evolvables is something I don't want. I can watch everyone else test / break the new system from a distance. There you go. The positive in everything.
But wait,
but I do gotta agree with you, Double Quill. I do not think I'm going to be going for this drop myself. I'm going to explain in a little bit. There are pros, there are cons. But I'm somebody who I think is going to be kind of sitting on the sidelines for this one and just observing. Oops.
Sorry.
There's more.
It sounds expensive. If you have to burn my collectibles to get each of the rarities, won't that cost me a lot of money? Well, this is something that we've actually factored in a lot. This is the planning that's gone into this. We want to make digital collecting more accessible to all collectors. And one advantage of Evolvables drops is to offer really accessible price points. Okay, so the price points are here. And this is how it's going to be for Punisher and everything. And we'll see how it goes, obviously. In a typical Evolvables drop, a common will be priced at 20 gems. So if you look at like some of these premium ones, Corey, they're like...
I would anticipate this to change over time. So I wouldn't say that this is set in stone.
Like, you know, they can go up to 40, 50, 60, 70 because of the amount of effort. And you can talk about that, about the amount of quality and effort that gets put into these.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it's also...
Duck says you got to at least go for the common to try for the common chaser. No, I'll tell you why I don't even want to do that, dude. I'm not a big fan of the design, which is kind of the funny story here because we were at a point in the night in Vegas where we were actually kind of winding down. So we were all sitting at a table, we were having some food. This gets announced and everybody at the table is like, what? Like, what on earth is this for Punisher? Like, we all didn't really have the most positive reaction to it. And then we go online and we start reading the comments and everybody has positive reactions to it. We're like, what's going on? But I started doing like more research online at the table. I was like, why did they go with this design? And the design that I came across, keeping in mind this was on a website called DeviantArt, which is typically like fan-made submissions. But I found the exact design of the Punisher that they're releasing, with the mask, the skull on the shirt and everything, like to the T, like trench coat, everything, the guns, everything. And it was a comic cover artwork that was created in 2014. And so I just thought it was a really odd choice for the Punisher. I know another talking point at the table was the mask. Like Oz, for example, really didn't like the mask. Biggest bros in the chat saying I'm still tilted. Yeah, man, like it's an interesting drop. I'll add more in a second.
Price model is an example, you know, and so like I said, every single drop we do that's an evolvable model, it may shift the prices, the additions, but the
Notori says it's $53 total, 26,000 MCP for super rare SR. I'll definitely be trying for sure. Well, there you go, man. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but
core spirits of how it works. You buy the common, use that common to burn to get to the uncommon, and then work your way all the way up to secret rare. But in terms of the price point, like you're 100% right. Like we have some really beautiful and amazing collectibles on VeVe, but the price to produce some of those creates sort of a barrier to entry for our average collector. So this really allows people to go as hard as they want, or pick the exact pose, the exact version that appeals to them the most, with smaller price points. But as people interact with the Evolvables model, it increases the value of everything prior, because everything prior is being burned to acquire.
Exactly.
And so it's a great deflationary model. It should be great for long-term value. And even if you were a set collector, like let's say you want to get this whole set, even the price of all those burns to acquire all of those sets, if you look at comparable blind boxes in existence, a lot of times you're not going to get the secret rare out of a blind box. You might hit the buy. A lot of times you're not going to get, and some people love that and some people don't love that.
Right.
But the overall price for this entire thing, if you're going to buy out the set, is on average much less than what it would cost to buy the secret rare, then build your set around that. But you're still going to have the chase element because of the chaser. You know,
that's right.
We've never been able to do.
I do gotta say, I do like the chaser, because I can't remember who said it, but it does add a scarce, like a rare element to every rarity, meaning it how do I explain this? It caters to, like, I think VeVe was saying this actually earlier in Performance chat, how it caters to all the different types of collectors or levels of collectors. Which I do agree with. You having that super rare element. What those actual pieces are, we'll talk about as well. So
do that before. For me, that's probably one of my favorite elements.
Luke says, I'm not going for this drop. Would get other slept on comics and collectibles. Yeah, that's another thing to consider as well. There is lots on the platform, right? So about Willie still.
Include.
No, it's true, because if you actually go through the process on this particular one for Punisher coming up, it's around 54 gems to actually acquire the secret rare. Whereas, you know, if you were to go into the aftermarket, it could be higher. Of course, if you had a drop where it was about 40 to 50 gems just as a blind box, you might land that secret rare, but your odds are obviously landing the common, uncommon, and, you know, the lower rarities, right? So if you go through the process, it'll cost you about 54 on this one to just get to the secret rare. And then, like you said, right here, the second one. So this, just to back up a bit, make sure everybody just check out the article. It's right up on our blog, you know, and ask questions about it. And of course, we'll have a whole article around the Punisher himself. And we're going to show the Punisher artwork again right here, because we want to geek out. And there's a little video we're going to show you guys that looks amazing. Evolvables drop will have a special edition chaser. And so, Corey, does that exist outside the set, or is that in, like, how does that work? Just
if you get the chaser, that's a standalone set,
right?
And so it exists independently of the rest of the man.
Oh, okay. You complete a set if you get the chaser. Interesting.
That would be a bummer, though, right?
Yeah, you have to get it. Yeah,
you gotta get this. You gotta get the no. Yeah, it exists.
Okay. You know what's funny though is that what he just said there already happened on the platform. Though I agree, it's a bummer where if you collect all of them and then you get presented with like the chaser and then you lose the set, that sucks. But if you look at like the Mickey Mouse NFT collection, that's exactly what happened with the signature. You had to get all the sets, and then if you completed all the sets, you got the signature, Mickey signature, which is also considered part of the entire collection. Unless it is its standalone set. I might be actually...
It's outside. It was developed like that. You know, we take a lot of feedback, and we talk to a lot of, you know, you and I are collectors. You know, I've been working at VeVe for quite a while, and I collected before I got here. So a lot of us that are a part of structuring this are collectors, but we also reach out to a whole tremendous number of people. And so we've really tried to listen to all that feedback and include as many things that were feasible within the constraints that we operate in. You know, there's a limit to what we can do, but we can continue pushing, you know, innovation as far as we can, keep adjusting along the way.
Okay, so what I want to do, go to the actual drop, because we read all that other stuff.
Artwork, you know, I wanted to get into this now. We have a little vid, and I would love to show that vid in case anyone wants to.
I want to see it.
I'm playing it right now.
All right, new era of collecting has arrived. Evolve from common to rare. Find unique special edition chasers. First ever Evolvables drop. Or Evolvable collectibles coming to VeVe.
Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. I just had to, you know.
Okay, so when I originally read the first article, I was under the impression that the chasers was going to be different designs of the collectible. So when they said that, I thought it was just going to be like different colored clothing, or you know, we were joking at the table in Vegas about how they might just turn it gold or like turn it platinum, just like one color. Oh, like the red metallic, you know, red metallic Punisher. Shout out to you, Duck. I know you'd want that, but it was a pleasant surprise to me to see that it was like actual additions to the collectible, so like clothing pieces. So I do like that more than just the colorways changing. You got the boots and then like the little straps and stuff like that. So I do like that. And then I will also point out that the detail on parts of these collectibles are really good. Like you can see that they are getting better. So certain parts like the skull, I want to get a close up version of the skull. Like the skull here, the design, like the detail on this, the color, like all of that is on point. Jacket looks great. Like face here looks pretty good. Hair, not really, to be honest, but you can see that the overall quality is getting better. So I will say that.
Yeah, the secret rare. Have we released the image?
Duck says they did the same with the Blackpink VeVe logos and the new ones.
I'm pretty sure.
For completing the set.
Have we? We released images.
Yeah, we released one. Like that was the one that I think you see at the beginning. Well,
I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want the microchip in my neck to explode if I, you know, I'm leaking information.
What do you guys think about the mask? Do you guys like it or no? I know Oz was sitting next to me and he said that the mask kind of ruined it for him.
But yeah, the jacket animations on them are really beautiful, and these are. I know, yeah. There's facial animation and everything.
Look at his face right there.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, aside from the little joke, I mean, the quality is getting a lot better.
Frank Castle, why are you so mad?
Double Cool says the hands are better, textures are better, eyes aren't as uncanny. Mask is scary.
And it's a beautiful FA for us to have too.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
Oh, hang on a sec. I didn't even pick that up the first time.
You know, I'm leaking information.
Look at collars moving, animated.
But yeah, the jacket animations on them are really.
Oh, eyes are blinking.
Really beautiful, and
yeah,
these are. I know, yeah. There's facial animation and everything.
It looks like a very subtle animation, like the Gwen Stacy one, where it's moving ever so slightly.
Everything.
Look at his face right there.
Duck says, I like the mask, but I'm not a comic guy. I've heard a lot of Punisher fans say they don't. Luke says, been in VeVe since 2021. Gotten used to the gist of people saying, paying attention to the new shiny thing and disrespecting their current comics / collectibles. It's a great point. I mean, people do always chase the new shiny thing, right? And yeah, a lot of pieces back from like season 1 are in my opinion being disrespected. We got the Harley Quinns, the Joker, even the Supermans, depending on your price point. But yeah, I mean, all those first those FAs are careful with how I word things here, but yeah, I mean, they're all pieces that I find attractive. So Biggest Bro says leather jacket is fire though. There you go. Says I hate the Casey Jones mask on Frank Castle. Yeah, the mask seems to be a big up or down. It seems to be the make or break for a lot of people here.
Castle, why are you so mad?
Casey Jones.
And they're it's a beautiful FA for us to have too.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
Punisher is one of my favorite characters. Like, I love Daredevil, I love Punisher. Like, I'm more of a street level hero kind of guy. Like, I love, you know, the wild powers.
All right, I think if there's anything else you guys want me to cover with that one, let me know. But I do want to move on to the Lambo one here, because this is one I've been waiting for a while.
Transition time. Oh, we're doing an actual transition. I got to prepare myself for a transition
out of this
3,
one.
2.
Ooh, paused it right on time. Double Quill says, I like that though. I like picking up lots of stuff off the floor that I never thought I'd be able to afford. It's a pretty cool feeling, right? Especially if you've been here since, well, I mean, when prices were kind of shooting up and you were looking at some of those pieces being like, never gonna have one in the collection. You still believe in VeVe and, you know, just enjoy just genuinely enjoy collecting. Yeah, some of those pieces are a lot more obtainable now. Tripping over my words, guys. I'm still catching up on sleep. All right, bear with me here.
One.
I got off the plane, so I had like I already told you about the first hiccup that I had with the phone, but on the way back, because my phone had all my tickets for so I got dropped off at the airport. My car was in the shop. So I didn't have a ride back because the person who actually ended up dropping me off went on a vacation halfway through mine. So I planned on training back from Toronto to Niagara, which is like a 3-hour train ride. But it just so happened that they closed the tracks for construction between the 18th and 20th, and I got home on the 19th. So the only other alternative was Ubering for a couple hours, which, I mean, is a hefty bill right there. But I could bus, which was even longer than a train, and I ended up just renting a car. So I go down to the Enterprise lot. I rented just like a basic, I think it was like a Toyota Camry or something like that. And I walk up to the booth. He walks me out and he goes, "So what car you want to take? You want the Mustang? You want the pickup? You want the Chrysler 300?" I'm like, Mustang. And he just hands me the keys, and I was like, do I not need to pay more? And he goes, just because of the time of year, demand's not there. He goes, you can take whatever. So they gave me a drop top V8 Mustang just for me to finish the trip, which was nice. But problem is that every time I start to get gems together,
let's
for
see if
stuff
it worked.
I always wanted.
Oh!
There's 3 things that I gotta have. Dude, there's way more than 3 things that I want to have on the platform.
Oh no!
Doing better than
New
I am,
format, new week.
I don't have that. Yeah. Aaron's like, let's do a transition.
All right, so for those who don't know what this car is, this is the Lamborghini Miura. So this car back in the day gave Lamborghini a lot of notoriety behind their name. I'm gonna probably do a full video, some fun facts about the car. But one is that the lights are based off of the eyelashes of a female, a lady, which you guys can probably see here.
Into something we've never have done before that we don't have a frame for. We got this.
Yeah, we'll work it in here.
No, I love this car.
I know.
Let's talk about it.
I know. So this is our new Lambo coming out. And actually, what I love the most, of course, right here, it's the Miura, I believe is how you pronounce it, right? The Miura,
sir.
The
Miura. Ask chat. I can't afford a Lambo. I don't know.
So this Lamborghini is going to be, actually, it's probably between this one and the 3 is the first they made. But I know that this car in real life, as an investment, of course. In a collectible car. This is not a car you drive on the street. This is a car that you have on a trickle charger in your garage. It's got like a $10 million plus price tag. This is a very, very rare car to come across. And I'm just so happy that they're dropping it in yellow. If they didn't drop it in yellow, I would have been heartbroken.
Real Lambos, just the digital collectible versions of them.
When you were at the
Duck, great point. First Lambo to carry their V12 as well. Yes, sir. That is another fun fact about the car. That they put in every Lambo up until the Murcielago. Oh, I didn't know that part. That's cool. The Murcielago is several years down the line. Still overpriced for the edition size.
dealership.
70 gems when I heard it, to be honest. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. And to be transparent with you guys, this is the first drop I'm going for in quite some time. I'm not upset with the $70 price point, just because I know if you do get the secret rare, it's a bit of a gamble, but it's gonna be above that. And then just also considering the significance of the car, I'm willing to pay that price. So it's also a luxury product, right? So they can only go so low before it's kind of considered cheap. But I think 70 is healthy. I know back in the day they were charging the 90s and the 120s for the vehicle, stuff like that. I'm not sure how much lower you can go than 70, something like this. Keeping in mind too all the details in the engine bay and stuff like that, I would assume you can open this also.
And you're picking this one
up. Luke says the cars on VeVe I should pay attention to, but McFarlane Digital has the Tumbler from the Dark Knight trilogy over there. I have seen that. I do need to mess around with that platform more. I sent my PC to get fixed while I was in Vegas, and luckily it's actually fixed this time. So I can log into platforms like McFarlane, because I know on my old PC the showroom didn't load. So I'm gonna start messing around with more of that. But yeah, the Tumbler looks really good in their showroom with the light. I like how they also have the showroom section for cars, which is cool. One of the
up there last week.
One of the guys that we were with in Vegas the whole time, Video Shane, if you guys know him. If you don't, toss him a follow. Great guy. But he works for McFarlane, so got to have some cool conversations with him about that. But yeah, I was talking about their showroom with him as well. So I'm only 3 collectibles away from having all the Toki Dokis. Lucky Rosso Gold kind of got away from me. That's the Lucky Rosso Gold. Like that dragon one, right? One in its set. The biggest bro says it's not my vibe, but they have to keep luxury items at appropriate prices. Yeah, I agree.
Week,
yeah.
You didn't they
the nearest Lambo dealership to middle of nowhere Ohio, where I live, would probably be a plane ride away, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, maybe, right? This one's coming out, and check it out. I wanted to show these. I just wanted to show this stuff here. I mean, this is on our Instagram, okay? And this is like a kind of a carousel sort of imagery that was done. And nice. I mean, these are just, look at these. If you're going to see them in the VeVeVerse now, because we can talk about that.
Guys, the front of this car is beautiful, but the back of it is so nice as well.
Big time.
I hope they show it here.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, look at the detail in here.
And that's the nice thing about these images is our graphic design team is using basically the same functionality.
With the VeVe license plate. Let's go. I do gotta say though, in VeVe, I hope you're watching this part. Is there a chance that we can get the European license plates instead of like the American? This is a big license plate for the car, and typically it has like the more narrow, wider one. Narrow, wider. That doesn't make sense at all. You guys know what I'm talking about if you're in Europe. But yeah, this license plate looks a little odd, but I really hope we can get those style license plates, especially for an Italian vehicle, right? So, Lamborghini Miura. Love the back of
that you all will have in the VeVeVerse to take these images. So it really goes to show you like the quality once you figure out lighting.
What is that? Is that the engine bay? No. What is that?
Once you figure out how to place.
Okay, I'm tripping. I cannot figure out what part of the car this is.
Sliding to create the reflections or the shadows that you want.
My head's playing games with me. This, for some reason, I'm thinking this is the steering wheel, but it's not.
Yeah,
I don't think.
you can really display this stuff in a wild and a beautiful way. That first image, the first image in that carousel, whenever Jason showed me that, I was just
It's
like,
right here.
dude, you're killing it, man. Like, you're doing such a good job, buddy. Like, it's so good.
I know. Look at this right here. Look at this.
You have to get this car in yellow. Yellow. Yellow.
On that.
Yellow.
Oh my God. The funny thing is that, so let me ask you, in terms of the other Lambos that we have and other vehicles and stuff as well,
Mirror. Other. Okay, so we have the I think it's Verde green, they call it. The green. This is. Oh no, this is the Verde green, I think. This is the secret rare. Then you have the orange here. The blue actually looks pretty nice, but red. Don't like that at all. But yeah, yellow is the color it's known for. So this is how it opens up. Okay, so I think the piece we were looking at was right here. So I think that was the engine. I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we were looking at. And it's got the spare tire in the front there too. That's cool. Duck says that gold. Oh, you like the gold? Definitely not my cup of tea. Definitely not my cup of tea. But hey, man. I respect it. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's get back to the video before I get distracted.
These
here.
images right
Biggest Bro says, let's get Josh's banana Lambo.
here are taken like now. But our other stuff actually looks like very much the same in terms of quality, right? That people just haven't seen yet because we've had previous kind of imagery and marketing.
Now, okay, what's also interesting to think about is what's left of the big Lambo names. So we have the Aventador, which is dropped. We have the Mercy, which is dropped. We have the Huracan, which is dropped. We also have the Gallardo, which has not dropped. This is the older version of the Huracan. And then we also have the Superleggera, which is the racing version that's road legal of the Gallardo. So this was an iconic car back in the day as well. They stopped production, I think it was around like 2014, somewhere around there. And then the Huracan took over. Also have the drop top. Beautiful car. Another big one is the Veneno. This is a very, very limited Lambo. Only limited to 9 of the coupe and 9 of the convertible. So you have 3 that are in red, you have 3 that are in green, and then you have 3 that are in gray. And then they all have the... Okay, maybe this one got... Why? Somewhere on this car there's the Italian flag, but I'm not seeing it now. Oh, it's back here. It's on here. But it has the Italian flag. But yeah, this is it's a V12. This is one of those cars that, like I said, you have them on the trickle charger in your garage. The V12 wouldn't fit normally, so they actually had to put it in sideways in the back. Another fun fact from Duck. There you go. I add that one to my... Oh. Cool to know. Biggest Bro says Diablo. Yeah, so that one's also dropped, and then the Countach, which is dropped. So those are both available on VeVe as well. We have the Veneno Gallardo. What else are we missing here? Of like the big names. We have Super Trofeo. No. What's the one modeled after the... So yeah, Lamborghini's in the boat world as well, if you guys didn't know. But Lamborghini has a yacht. It's like 3.5 million. Very limited. Very, very limited. I want to say there was only 63. Conor McGregor, actually. There you go. Right here. But this car is modeled after, or this boat is modeled after the actual car. I'm trying to find it. Called Technomar? That's not it either. This is a newer Huracan, so we also don't have that. I'm trying to remember the name of this. Where? That's this one right here. Right here. So this is another one that we don't have. It's a newer Lambo that I'm actually not too familiar with, so I can't say too much on it. But you can see how the lights are actually, I think, modeled after the Veneno. Oh, this is another one. Lamborghini, Super. There's the Agosta. So this is a one-seater. There's only one in the world. Very rare. Right here. And then, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. Lamborghini. This one. Sesto Elemento. There we go. So the Sesto Elemento is the track version that's road legal, so you can drive this on the road. Very limited as well. I can't remember how many there are, but it's like less than 10 or something like that. So Double Quill says, yeah, blah 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 blah. Fast, sleek cars. I want Herbie the Love Bug. That would be cool as well. I want the Mystery Machine from what I want. John Wickerman says cars are for lazy people. Well, I guess those who don't want to walk, that would make sense, right? Gets you from A to B a little quicker. The one that we already have on view. What else?
So, like, let's say, for example, to go as content creators, graphic designers, videographers, we didn't have the ability to go into the game engine itself to collect that imagery. And so we relied on exports, essentially. And so now we're able to represent it more true to what people will be able to experience in a VR space. Right. Oh, that's great. Yeah. So I can't wait to see the rest of the stuff in the VeVeVerse. But this one's going to be fun. This is coming up on Saturday. So we do have a little thing, what would actually be kind of cool right now, Corey?
What is gamble? I'm going to go
because of the quality aspect, we can show that little VeVeVerse video now.
Oh yeah, Falcon?
Yeah, because it's not actually...
I'm dumb. Wow.
Featuring any cars or anything. But I think you guys are going to like to see this little thing as we talk about quality, high levelness, as a taste of what you'll be able to
make your own sound. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum.
All right, I'm going to walk through this real quick for those who just tuned in. All simple shapes, simple shape, simple shape, simple shape, simple shape. Actually, these gates might actually be default models. Unless he used the measurement tool, they're like really, really even. If he put that together himself, kudos to you, dude. That's well done. Basic lighting that's available. He changed the properties to change the color.
Here we go, Corey.
We're
Ready Player Me avatar. If you guys haven't created it, you can do. You can create your own one for free right now.
Actually, not muted, I think, so we can do some narration over this. But yeah, this is his haunted house. So, like, he had a bunch of different showrooms. Look at these cylinders.
All simple shapes, particle effects here with the balls. Change the properties on the particle effects to enlarge them, change the color, and then also influence the direction and speed that they're moving in.
With the ball.
Simple shapes for the staircase, just more lighting
balls
features.
That he put in there to kind of simulate the water boiling.
Yeah, the stairwell going up. I love what he did with the mask up there, the Bond mask.
Yeah.
Now,
to kind of simulate the water boiling.
Some of you guys made comments about how he's kind of like jumping up on the stairs. Reason why that's happening is because of how big of the space there is here, if you do it so that you spend a little bit more time so that there's less space in between the steps, you should have your character go up a lot more smoothly.
The stairwell going up. I love what he did with the mask up there, the Bond mask.
Yeah. He did a fade on that mask.
It's coming up.
I'm still not entirely sure how they did that, because I know in their recent demo, the ceiling was showing like a reflection of the skybox, and I don't know if this is like a texture that you apply. But either way, we got simple shapes for the floor and stairs. It looks like simple shapes for the walls and ceiling as well. And then this is a collectible. I was taking a guess that there might be just like a block cutout here, and then he's used this like ring to hide that. And then this is pushed back. But I'm not entirely sure actually how this is made. So it looks really cool though.
I mean, just crazy. And this is of course
simple shapes, simple shapes, simple shapes, collectibles. This may be a default model, but if not, my guess is that he's told these cylinder shapes to move from this coordinate at a certain speed, and as it's kind of going up and down, the bottom of the cylinder is being hidden inside of the actual like machine. So it looks like it's kind of,
course,
it gives that effect, right?
For
but it looks cool.
Green to come.
More lights here, more collectibles.
And share this. I mean, this is the stuff he's built. This is just a one taste of it. Look at the Myrmicorno heads there.
What did he do to those Myrmicornos? Unacceptable.
I'm pretty sure that's how he's done that.
And share this. I mean, this is the stuff he's built. This is just a one.
And again, for anyone just tuning in, you are able to move your collectibles or objects that you place from one coordinate to another in the world. So that's how.
Look at the Myrmicorno.
I think that's how he's doing that.
There.
What did he do to those Myrmicornos? Unacceptable.
Yeah, it's
We're
crazy.
sorry, Token.
All right, let's point this out. So double cool. I know you were talking about textures, right? You can't really see much of the wall textures. I do think that's a combination of the lighting, but then also the actual texture he used. But then if you also look at like the wood texture here,
look,
it does look a lot better.
The Myrmicorno heads there.
What did he do to those?
Another thing that I will say is that the textures themselves, you can change the properties on. So when you apply a texture, what you can do is you can change how much you want to stretch that texture across that object. So let's say, for example, you choose like a wood grain, you can stretch the wood grain so that it looks like it has more, so that it shows more grains, or it doesn't. Hopefully I explained that right. But it could also just be the way that he applied those settings to the textures.
Those Myrmicornos, unacceptable.
I guess a better way of putting that is if you have like a tile texture, if you scale the tile texture, you'll make the tiles larger, and then if you like scale it down, you'll make the tiles smaller. You can do that stuff with the textures.
Yeah, it's
We're
crazy.
sorry, Tokadoki. Simone Leño, don't come for us.
Texture right here. Look at the floor with the lighting. Not entirely sure how he actually made these things hanging from the wall.
That's right.
Or if that's something in the library, but the same thing's happening here with the collectible. So he has a pulse setting on the collectible, which is making it, I think, turn or like a spin. And then he has set the collectible to move from one spot to another.
Yeah, exactly. There's a little taste right there. That was a lot of fun. We can play it again.
Doug says, this vid has me buying stuff I wouldn't have otherwise. Been getting so many ideas of what I could with certain collectibles. Yeah, man, that's a big thing for me. I'm definitely going on a shopping spree when we get access to the VeVeVerse, because there's certain things I have in mind for the collectibles, but I also know that there's certain things you can picture in your head that don't always look the way that you picture them. So I'm going to try and buy a lot of collectibles that I have ideas for and build that way. So, but yeah, I couldn't.
And in just a minute, but Corey, when you
first says I'm really into texture.
First saw that, what was your first impression of that? I mean,
I knew it was going to be awesome because I've been in the beta group, and so I kind of jump into some spaces when people send me links. So I knew I'm over here just trying to put some shapes together to make some shelves. Meanwhile, Mr. Falcon and these other beta testers are creating whole cities and amazing experiences. But what I really like about the video we're about to release is he also explains how he accomplished some of those things.
Yeah.
And I think that's important for anyone watching to realize, is that the way the experience is created, any level, whether you're mad creative or you're not mad creative, you're going to be able to enjoy the VeVeVerse because
Yeah, another thing about the texture. So the texture right here on this wall is the same as the one right here. But because the lighting isn't like this light is not illuminating this space nearly as much as these two, which is why you're seeing the texture a little bit better here. So I do really think that it's just because it's such a dark space.
You could invite someone like Mr. Falcon into your space, give them creator privileges, and they could start building whatever you want, you know, in your own.
Another thing that might have been good though is
give them creator. Someone like
it was his design for sure, but he put lighting back here to, I guess, separate like the house from the background, which is why you're seeing like the shadows and stuff. But I think it would have also helped. Never mind. I was gonna say if he put a light up in the sky, but that's where this shadow's coming from. Did do that.
Mr. Falcon into your space, give them creator privileges, and they could start building whatever you.
Same thing with this collectible. He just told it to go up and down.
You want.
Makes it look like,
you know, in your
bubbling.
own space, which is really, really cool. Another thing to keep in mind is this is a live stream, so the quality of this video is actually better. So whenever this video releases, like officially as a standard video, you're gonna see, you know, how much higher the quality is. Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he also gave us more than just this, so you're gonna.
Okay, so I want to kind of paint a picture here and show you guys like where this can kind of go, because right now we're looking at a build that well, okay, so like these beams, for example, wait until the day where you see creators take hours just to put like little crown molding and little designs into beams and things like that. Okay, if you have a creator that's willing to sit down several hours at a time to focus on little details like that, then what's going to happen over the course of a week or two is they're going to start building a world where, well, you see a lot more intricate detail. So these are, and this is nothing against Falcon, like fantastic build, awesome job, really like creations like this. But you can be a lot more intricate with it as well.
See about 4 or 5 different walkthroughs of like different.
Right, even the walls are just flat walls. You can go in and out and do different shapes, and it creates a different environment, right? So
creations, and also he's just the first.
Hey, we got Falcon in the chat. What up, man?
We're previewing. We're going to showcase
He created the gate himself. Amazing. So I'm assuming you used the measurement tool then, right? Because yeah, it looked really even, but that's impressive, dude. It looked really good.
Bunch of people as we lead up to everybody coming in on day one with the launch, and you're going to see a ton of stuff to give you ideas.
Double Cool says, I don't want to spend hours on it. I'd rather build a bunch of textured blocks and just use that to build so it doesn't take me forever, like Minecraft. Oh, you know what? Double Cool, that's really interesting. I did not think about going that angle. Where you could just place blocks and build that way without even kind of moving them around. I see exactly what you're talking about. That's interesting. But yeah, I talked a bit about that before, the different audiences, right? Like the explorers versus the builders. Yeah, if you don't want to put the hours into build, completely your choice, your preference. But I'm just saying, of the people who are willing to do that, you're gonna start seeing really
ideas. And like I said, it's a really cool video because just as you mentioned, you know,
here. Should I do it? I'll do it. Didn't show everything on this, but I'll do it. Okay. So I got here's some inspiration for the VeVeVerse on one of my murals. Okay. I want to make sure. Oh, direct. Okay. So let's go over to these examples. So this is stuff out of VR chat. But this lighting feature right here, you can build in the VeVeVerse. If you compartmentalize it and understand the different components that it takes to build that, you can build that exact thing in the VeVeVerse, right? So it's little things like this that I'm talking about that's going to add a lot to a space, right? And I can break it down. In order to build something like this, all you need is the cube, and then you change the property so that it lights up, and you add a little square at the bottom, a square at the top, and then another more narrow beam above. And then, I mean, whether you can curve this the way it is, or you can do it, you know, the long route of kind of like the flat edges, but you bend ever so slightly to create a curved corner. You can build this exact thing in the VeVeVerse. Here's another one. You can do the same thing here, right? So we saw this beam lighting inside the VeVeVerse demo, right? Lower the floor a little bit and put a collectible artwork in the floor. Toss some glass on top of it, right? You can do this in the VeVeVerse. Have we seen it yet? No. But if you break down the image and what it would take using the tools we know are available, I can build this exact thing. Here's another one. That's for something else. I like this design. The beams on the wall, let some light in. Like that a lot. Here's one showing like a glass floor, and then below the room or below the bedroom is another room. If you light up the room below, then that should illuminate some of the space above, right? Like these are all things you can do in the VeVeVerse with the tools we already know we have. Right? Like little spaces like this, lower the floor, nice little seating area. Might not have the exact cushions, but you can build something close to it. Another lighting feature here that you can build easily in the VeVeVerse. Take a plank, narrow it, and then add a little, well, take another cube, flatten that, and then just apply it as a light. Put one at the top, one at the bottom. And then if the team's watching this, I'm hoping we can copy and paste the thing and just kind of go along and not have to rebuild it every time. But regardless, you can build this. What else I got here? Inspiration, houses. Got some of Neom's projects. Some lighting features on the outside of a house here. Like, see the lighting on the ceiling here. Very, very simple to do. You can do that on staircases as well. Look at this tilted house. That's cool. This, you can build this as well. Okay, lower the floor. Doesn't have to be the same shape. Lower the floor and put a particle feature that we just saw in Captain's video. Or Captain. I keep saying Captain. Sorry, Falcon. Use the particle feature and just reduce the size of the particles. You can change the color to whatever you want. And you can create something very similar to this. Falcon said he made the hanging ripped cloth with simple shapes. Interesting. So can I ask you, man, are you stretching the simple shapes to make that shape? How exactly did you get that, like, final design? Because it's like draping. Yuri says, oh, can put records and flat objects like logos in the floor. 100%. 100%. And guys, if you have any ideas, drop them in the chat because it benefits everybody. But everything I'm showing you guys right now, well, at least the parts that I'm talking about, are buildable. Okay? And I know I've like, I used to post a lot of content like this to inspire people for the VeVeVerse, and it just started getting to the point where, like, people were like, oh no, you can't build that. And they were taking a lot of the photos very literally. So I'm not saying you're going to achieve the exact same quality, same look. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is that it's the ideas. It's the inspiration you get from these to build your own things. How long would it say it took to build Falcon? Yeah, that's a cool question. No. Double Quill, are you going to be doing how-to vids when this stuff comes out? Absolutely. Yeah, content's going to be switching up in a really good way when we get access to the VeVeVerse. It's going to open us. I mean, we got building competitions, building tutorials. We could be live streaming certain spaces inside the VeVeVerse because I know a lot of X spaces are probably going to transition over there. We could be doing, you know, watch parties. There's a ton of stuff that we can. So absolutely, I'll definitely be doing stuff like that. So we got Sven in the chat. What up, man? Thanks for stopping by as always. I built it on and off for about a month. I changed a lot as I went along. I used the coordinates to place the shapes. And yeah, the textures were pretty basic in this one. There you go, from the man himself. And yeah, for anyone tuning in, I do think some of those textures, you'd see them a little better with brighter lighting. So something to consider there. I have some stuff on this board that I probably don't want to make public right now, so I just want to be careful with where I'm dragging stuff, because there's stuff. Another build, different angles. Got some like sci-fi, stark looking buildings here. What else we got? Oh, this is a world in VR chat. This one's really cool. With a little cabin with a hot tub in the middle of the ocean. Probably can't recreate that just yet because I don't think there's water in the VeVeVerse, but again, just inspiration, right? It's just certain parts of these photos, not everything. Sven says, can you say something about the moving of items? Your witch did move. Is it hard to put that in? Yeah, Sven, we were talking about that. You just move the collectible so you can set the coordinates. So you can make a collectible spin, and then you can move it from one spot to the other. So that's all that was. It shouldn't be too difficult to kind of put in. I just had a client call me. Give me 1 second, guys. I just gotta text him back real quick. All right. But yeah. Any other ideas in the chat, guys, that you have? Double Quill says, I'm tired of waiting. Let's just get in already. Yeah, feelings mutual. Feelings mutual, Quill. If it ain't raining, says amen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here's another one too. So we saw the cylinders with the, or like the glass tubes that the collectibles were in Falcon's world. You can do the same thing here, just more narrow, and then apply the particle effect at like a smaller scale, and then have them float up, right? And that's a cool little wall effect. Sven says, super. Now we can have a drivable T-Rex. Moving things. Yeah, dude, you could probably have 30 T-Rex just moving from one spot to the other. Sven, I use a pulse setting to move the witch from one point to another. It's not too tricky. There you go. Confirmation, right? So we talked about the Punisher drop. We talked about different Lambos. We went through the VeVeVerse video. We are almost done this Q&A with our live episode with MC and Corey. Let me know in the chat, guys, if there's anything else you want me to cover. We'll keep continuing.
Basically, he just walked us through, was talking about, and then of course Dan was bringing stuff up. How did you do that? Oh, how did you do this? So I think you guys are really going to love that content coming out, and so stay tuned. That's going to be coming out soon. But man,
it's really good, right?
Oh, that gets me so pumped for sure, right? And then if you just start thinking about this kind of stuff, the quality of the stuff, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, look at the end. Look at that. Like, what is that?
Yeah, that's the engine.
It's a really good understanding of lighting is what that is. Like our graphic design team doing a really good job, leveraging.
Somebody said in the chat that there was a teaser somewhere in the video. Anyone want to remind me about that? Or have we covered it already? I want to make sure we're not missing anything.
To make some beautiful, beautiful imagery of a beautiful collectible.
This is another DCON.
Oh, O'Malley State of the Union. Shout out to him
as a recap. So big shout out to O'Malley, and of course the whole story where you can post your vault images and stuff. So internally we had.
I saw this post, and the first thought that came to mind is VeVe's brought somebody new on board, because their content just changed and for the better. So if you guys are watching this, keep up the awesome work, because I really like that kind of content.
Some one of our great members, like staff members, just like geeking out on all the amazing,
Double Quill says, is there any way to make like flames and such? Flames were in the Cavernous free trial, but I see that Falcon said not sure about flames, but maybe soon. That's interesting, because I know Cavernous has the capabilities. They also had a flamethrower in their library where you could change like how far the flame went out and things like that. So it sounds like there's certain features that Cavernous has the capabilities of releasing, but VeVe has said like, it's almost like VeVe said like, nope, not yet. And if jumping is one of those features, oh my lord, please put jumping in the VeVeVerse. That's just a basic. That's a basic. Notorious says, did you talk about all music being able to play through the jukebox? I did not, because I did not hear about that. So Ron's jukebox can play all kinds of music? That's awesome. Although, the only thing to add there is that that's the only kind of music we have on the platform so far, but I would really like to see new artists. Nothing against Ron, it's just, you know, if you really want to get that category moving, I feel like we need some bigger names, bigger titles.
Feed like vault creations in our VeVe feed on the app and share them in our like internal kind of like fun chat area where it's not a serious chat area. It's just for all of us to get together where we all talk about fun stuff and share things. And they were like, look at these creations. So we were like, we got to start celebrating, you know, and the people who are doing these things in the VeVe feed. So what we did is yesterday we put.
Double Quill says, LOL, no jumping. I hate parkour games. They stress me out. Hey, a basic feature of controlling a gaming character is just being able to jump. So,
together this
that's all I'll say about that.
With just a random selection of some of the people who have done vault creations, and this is not the last time we're going to do this. I want everybody who's watching today to make sure you go to this, post right here. Just, for fun, pick which one you think is the best. That person will win a prize, a VeVe digital collectible or comic. And also, if you vote and you make a comment, you'll be eligible for a draw. So this is happening right now. What do you think about this, Corey?
Entry closes November 19th. All right, so that's already done.
Everybody, let's hit the noonish friend.
All right, looks like they're doing a oh, what's this?
VeVe co-founder and co-CEO.
And female characters, he's got all daughters, so he really loves those kinds of IPs.
Yep.
I'm sure Aaron and I will do some, but this one is David's, and we hope you enjoy it.
Welcome to another episode of David Picks.
In today's episode, VeVe co-founder and co-CEO picks between Batman Black and White Series 1 through 4, Amanda Connor Batman, or Bruce Timm's Harley Quinn.
Oh my god. Are they modeling this off of the game on Ellen DeGeneres where you choose who you date over the other? Is that where this came from? Because this is this is actually a really good idea.
Harley Quinn?
All right, Bruce Timm's Harley Quinn or Brian Bowen's Penguin.
I'm going for
it's the exact same thing.
Penguin, that's fine.
Penguin. All right, well, Penguin or Darwin Cook's Batman.
Okay, so you know how I was just talking about how they hired somebody probably for their social media? I mean, I feel like this only supports what I was just saying. This is new as well. I really like this.
Penguin.
All right, Penguin or Gary Frank.
Hit Arcade was going nuts over this show in Vegas. For anyone who hasn't seen it, I came back and I tried buying Hulu, and Hulu, to my surprise, actually isn't even in Canada. But the new Penguin TV series is apparently fantastic. I've heard nothing but fantastic comments about it. Yeah, if you guys haven't watched it, even though I haven't, I'd recommend it. So
thanks, Batman.
Apparently the price on VeVe shot up as well.
Gary Frank?
Gary Frank, I think I know your answer is going to be this one. Gary Frank or Jim Lee's.
Oh, God. Jim Lee's Nightwing.
And I'm going to make it even harder. Jim Lee's Nightwing or Jim Lee's The Joker.
The guy from Nightwing here.
Sticking with Nightwing. Okay, well, Nightwing or Eduardo Rizzo's Batman.
Rizzo's.
In series 1, so let's go Rizzo Batman or Becky Cloonan's Batman.
Rizzo's.
All right, Rizzo.
I'm pretty sure Rizzo's like one of David's like favorite black and white pieces ever.
Or Joe Mad's Batman.
I said Rizzo's.
Yeah.
All right, and for the last one, Rizzo or Todd McFarlane's Batman.
Oh. What would you guys choose? This one's a tough one. Oh, this one's a tough. I'd probably still have to go with Todd though. I would have to go with Todd just because it's first piece.
Oh,
but he also knows about the physical. I'm only talking about like the digital. So Oh, what's everyone saying? Put it in the chat before I press play. Todd or Rizzo? Todd or Rizzo? Double Quill, Todd or Rizzo? Sven, Todd or Rizzo? Torius, Falcon, Todd, Rizzo. Let me know. Double Quill says Todd. The submissions are coming in. The suspense, it's building. What else we got? Who else we got here? Duck. If it ain't raining. Anybody else watching? Drop it in the chat. We got Rizzo. Sven says Todd. Okay, so 2 for Todd, 1 for Rizzo. Oh, I gotta go Todd. I think I got Todd with this. Rizzo was... So Todd was the first digital on VeVe, but I'm pretty sure Rizzo is the first physical black and white. Does anyone know if I'm right about that? I think I remember David saying that.
You this one, Kung. Oh man, I have to go with Todd.
Oh.
And that's David's pick.
Wow.
What's yours?
I like that video a lot. I need to do more of those. Todd comes out on top. There we go. All right, so that's that video. We got this one done as well. We never looked at the Medium article for this drop, so let's do that real quick here. We have the common. Okay, so the starting is at 20, they said. We got 6,800 of those. First appearance of Punisher. Special edition chasers is going to be the clothing. Okay, so it looks like these pieces come together. We got $20 for the chaser. Or no, am I reading that right? $20 for the chaser or for this? Yes, 140 editions. Yes. Gary says, yes, 01 is the first. I like Joe Mad. Sven says, can you recognize the voice in the latest video? No, it seems like they were actually trying to mask the voice on purpose. Unless the person just doesn't want to be known, which I understand, but no, I didn't recognize him. If it ain't raining, Rizzo's still at a Todd twice as much, or still at a grand. What a Todd. Still at a grand twice as much as Todd. Yeah. That piece has always been more than Todd, though, hasn't it? That piece was up at like 25 at one point. First public edition. Okay, so they're holding 7 or 6. You have the uncommon. This pose to me looks very odd. I don't know if I'm the only one. Again, detail on the shirt and the face, awesome. Pose just looks. 4,500 for this one. It's gonna be a first appearance. Well, what's the craft though? Wait, so is the chaser the same for each rarity? Meaning you can put the boots and the belt on this one as well? Or am I understanding this wrong? Can someone correct me in the chat or clarify? Because now I'm not seeing chasers for these rarities. So is it 140 for each? That's a little confusing, I'm not gonna lie. They do talk about a waitlist drop though. So I know some people were talking about how, oh, it depends on where you are and how fast you can click the buy now button or whatever. If they're doing a waitlist, that's not the case. There's equal opportunity. If this is a waitlist, then yeah. All that talk about where you are in the world doesn't matter. And that's actually another thing to mention here. This drop is actually taking place over the course of, I think it's 5 days. Second. Yeah, 5 days. So, because I know that was a question at first of like, how much time is going to be in between for people to craft? Are people going to have the opportunity to craft before some have, gotten their collectibles delivered? And that's something they had to solve a little bit back in the day where they closed the market for 30 minutes and made sure things were delivered before listings went out. So it sounds like by them doing it the day later, it's kind of avoid that. But my question is it a waitlist for each one or just the common? It looks like it's for each one. Waitlist drop. Yeah, so it looks like it's for each one. So if it's for each one, my answer stays the same. Doesn't matter about where you are, how fast you click the buy now button. Everybody should have equal opportunity. Sven says 140 editions of special commons, so 1.8% of total are SE. I mean, you meant SR? Okay, so the rare has 2,500. And then your crafting points go up. So to craft the uncommon and burn the common, it's 500 MC. Craft the rare and burn the uncommon, it's 1,000. And 5,000, 20,000. Different thresholds. The rare has no mask, so this is the one I'd probably stop at if I went for it at all. But like I said, I probably won't be. The next one is where some of us started getting confused. I know, Oz, if you're watching this, you're not the biggest fan of the mask, but this animated digital collectible features the Punisher pose gun in each corner with a striking mask that shows classic skull emblem. And the emblem on the shirt looks really, really good. I have to say. 1,000 editions, gonna be another FA. Like we said, 5,000 bucks. And the Secret Rare only has 300. And this is another weird pose, in my opinion. This animated digital collectible represents the Punisher. Oh, same thing. His sleek black coat gently billows in the breeze. So yeah, I think it's going to be just like Gwen Stacy. With animation that highlights the intricate movement of the fabric. But I think we saw we saw the collar moving. First public edition is 10. And then again, a $10 price and 20,000 MCPs to craft. It's going to be an interesting drop. But to make a longer story short, I will be sitting on the sidelines. I'm just going to be observing for this one. But let me know in the chat, guys. Are you going to be going for it or not? I do have to say Collectible looks good. I know they lost some people with the mask, but I'm just curious to see how the whole mechanic's going to work. Because I've talked about how they need to keep things simple. And Ben acknowledged the importance of doing this. This craft is something that I think a lot of people... this drop style is something that I think a lot of people are going to have to get used to. There are a lot of moving parts for this one as well, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. Sven says these will be stressful days. If a rare crafting event happens every other day, will be stressful because it will be linked to your internet speed. No, it won't. It won't. If the crafting happens every single day with a waitlist, it won't. Because it should, I'm pretty sure the way they've structured this drop so that it happens each day is so that it gives people time to get their collectibles. Otherwise, if it was kind of back to back to back to back, all in the course of a day, then I would agree with you there. But them saying that this is a waitlist drop, there shouldn't be any difference in terms of the... Well, here, let me break it down this way. Sven, if you and I go for a drop right now, current waitlist, and you and I both want the secret rare, you and I both have equal opportunity of getting that secret, right? Same thing for a non-blind box, where if you and I both want the secret rare, we can choose to join the waitlist for that rarity. It's the same thing here because they're implementing the waitlist system despite the time between the crafts. If there wasn't a waitlist, then yeah, it would be kind of first come, first serve, but... And I think I'm right about that, because they mention waitlist twice here. They say waitlist here, and then they also mention it at the end of the full article. So I don't think it's just waitlist for the common, it's waitlist for each rarity. Simple, this is not simple. Yeah, agree with that. If it ain't raining, a bit confused myself. Yeah, see, so yeah, the importance of keeping things simple, but Sven says, yes, only common has a waitlist, I think. If the common only has the waitlist, I agree with what you said, but I don't think that's the case. I think all the rarities have the waitlist. Because what they'd be reintroducing the same problem they already solved back in the day. If there's a waitlist just for the first one, but not the rest, then there's not equal opportunity. And that's the whole reason why that waitlist was implemented to begin. If we have any team members in the chat, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty confident in saying that the waitlist applies to all of them. Yeah. But, I mean, again, what we're talking about right here is the exact reason why I'm sitting on the sidelines. I just want to observe and see how things go. Because, yeah, it's just... I don't think this is going to be a smooth drop. I think there's going to be a lot of hiccups, and then those hiccups are what kind of smooths out the next one. Which makes sense. That's kind of how things work, but... that's why I'm sitting on the side. Uri says, I think the waitlist is only for the first release, common only. Okay, see, if that is the case, then... hang on a sec. Let me read this one. Okay, so this is just the standard description they leave on all the Medium articles. Realize that. That's... okay, so let me leave it at this. What I'll say is that if the waitlist applies to each and every drop, people have equal opportunity. I have no complaints there. If the waitlist applies only to the common, then I really hope they switch that. Because they're reintroducing the same issue they already solved, which makes no sense to me. Oh, you know what, Guri? You have me thinking of that point you said in Vegas now. Where if there is a wait list for each one, it kind of defeats the purpose of a race because everybody just gets stuck at the gate until the next drop. So that's actually something to think about. I wasn't thinking about. So if that is the case and there is the race, then I have a bit of a different opinion then, because I said in the VeVe space that there, like, an argument that I see here is like a pay to win scenario if that's the case, because Sven and I go for a drop on a wait list. We both want the secret rare. We both have equal opportunity to get that secret rare. But in this case, if the wait list only applies to the first drop, then even if Sven and I both wanted the secret rare, the only waitlist we're joining is for the common, and then what happens after that is up in the air. Oh, you got me thinking. So just to kind of recap for those who are just joining. So there's a question mark up in the air as whether the waitlist applies to all the drops or just the first one. I was originally saying about how if the waitlist applies to all the drops, that's good because there's equal opportunity, but that would kind of defeat the purpose of racing to the secret rare because everybody would just get stopped at the gate for the waitlist. So yeah, I mean, the more I say this out loud, the more I'm just like, I'm definitely sitting on the sidelines to see how this goes. Yuri says the text above the first Punisher photo is what we want to see. Common and common special edition drop in blind box waitlist format. Damn! I'll be honest with you, I really don't know what to think. I'm gonna add more points on X when I kind of, I think, organize my thoughts here, but I mean, I guess my point about how this drop's gonna be interesting, that doesn't change. This is gonna be an interesting drop. Sven, Guri, I appreciate you guys clarifying that. Thank you. Interesting. All right, guys. I am probably gonna start wrapping things up here. Are there any other final topics, questions you have for me, things you guys want me to recap from Vegas? Let me know in the chat and end things off that way. But I was talking about how, I guess I'll kind of end things off with how we started here. So I was kind of recapping my experience in Vegas, meeting all you guys. I said that, you know, a lot of people in the community who have gone to an event for the first time, they seem to always come back and talk about how, oh, you got to get to an in real life event, right? And it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I'll eventually do it, but it was kind of going in one ear and out the other. Like, I didn't really kind of put it at the top of my priority list. And it's one of those things that didn't really click with me until I got there. Until I kind of really started to think about what was going on. And so I put out a post earlier today talking about 5 things that I didn't expect to happen, that were kind of like happy accidents in Vegas. And so the first video here is me and Oz actually pulling up to the Venetian on the Strip. And the cool thing about this was they were setting up the F1 track for, I think it's this week actually. And so what you're seeing right here is actually us driving on the track, which was really cool. But the only downside to that was in front of the Bellagio, all the water was drained, so they didn't have like the fountain or anything like that shooting up. But nevertheless, a cool experience. So the first thing I talked about here was people as advertised. So what was probably most refreshing for me was, and keeping in mind, you know, this was the whole time I did the face reveal, so people know who I am now. I'm flying to a city I've never been to, Vegas of all places, alone, right? Which is nerve-wracking, right? Because you don't really want to be walking around in Vegas by yourself. That just sounds depressing. Which I never did once. So super happy to say that. But each person I met was genuine, down to earth, and exactly how they acted online. Guri, I see in the chat still, man. Absolute pleasure meeting you. And thank you for letting me tag along. Guri actually rented a car, so I thought I'd be Ubering around a lot more, but he was kind enough to let me kind of tag along. And having a car like that really made the experience a lot more enjoyable because, you know, when you Uber from place to place, typically kind of you try to stay where you are, right? So you don't spend, you know, an arm and a leg on 30 different Ubers. And having a car just gave us a lot more flexibility. So can't thank you enough for that, man. Shoot me a DM too, because I still have to cover for part of that. And then the second thing that I have here is artist relationship. So I had an idea going to the event that, you know, I was going to be able to meet people like the London Police and Alison Bamcat and Ron English and these types of people. But I didn't really expect the amount of time that I got to speak with them. You know, I mentioned how I spoke with Ron like the first 15 minutes I was at the convention, and it was like a one-on-one. His wife, super nice, by the way. His wife to Oz was like, yeah, let me get your number. You can shoot us a text for the party tonight. They were just super nice people. So that was one thing that was unexpected. But then the other thing was meeting people like Klim that you see on screen here. Super passionate about the work that he does. But it was also really interesting to find out points about these guys that like VeVe hasn't necessarily advertised yet. So, you know, Klim is somebody who's been in the industry for 25 plus years. He's developed relationships with Ron, with Jermaine, with Frank, and he's sculpted a lot of their pieces. So for Ron English, he's actually created the supersize piece, and he said he went back and forth with him a lot for that. There was also an Iron Giant piece that he's created for Mondo. And while I'm on this topic, let's talk about Mondo for 1 sec. Because Mondo is a license that's on VeVe that we were told the company had closed. I can't remember if VeVe said this just news articles started popping up about how they went under. And I was very surprised to see their booth at DCON, and they didn't even have a small booth. They had a very big booth. So I walk up to them and I say, oh, respectfully, you guys still in business? Because that's the rumor that went around. And what she ended up telling me was that over the course of the past like 3 years, they've been trying to flip this narrative. So some sort of rumor got passed around a few years ago about how this company got closed because I guess like their founder, like CEO, switched or something like that. And so when that happened, there was news that the business fell, and that wasn't the case. So these guys are still around. They're still making the awesome art that they do. And one of the pieces that Klim had created and sculpted for the Iron Giant was at this booth, which looked really, really cool. It's going to be in the full video I end up releasing. But I'm going to do a full video on this guy. Klim, if you are watching this, absolute pleasure meeting you. And thank you for sending through photos like this. Super genuine. He has a vision for his collectibles. He actually talked about, he showed me some pieces that, oh gosh, I don't know if I should say this, that are unreleased. Not just on, he didn't show me VeVe collectibles, but he showed me works works of his, you know, animated 3D pieces and things like that, as well as ideas that he has for virtual environments like this. So this is somebody that I really appreciated getting to meet, and the London Police as well. So the London Police, if you guys don't know them, Suye and the London Police, is such a genuine team. They had a big booth as well. We walk up to it. You have the London Police kind of painting their own original artworks, and they're just dancing, dude. Like, they're dancing. They're like, Oz and one of the London Police were going back and forth with karaoke, like singing a song at the booth. They're just happy people, super happy people. Suye ended up coming by to the party. Suye is actually an account managed by 2 people, and they came by the party and yeah, had a fantastic time. So it was lovely meeting them. I'm in their Discord now, which is awesome. If you guys haven't joined that Discord, highly recommend it. But yeah, I should be seeing more of them next year. And what else did I say? Yeah, I'm going to be sharing more information about him. I said, not a VeVe event that felt like a VeVe event. So huge shout out to Kid Arcade, man. He threw the party, which was a huge success. But on top of that, I was mentioning how people like Guri had a car. So we had like our little groups kind of going around. You know, you walk in the convention and we had, I mean, there was probably a good, probably 8 to 12 of us walking around as a group. And that's just one group at the convention. Shout out to everybody in the video. That is who I'm talking about. But yeah, there was just, you know, VeVe had a presence there, even though they didn't have an actual booth. And even some of the artists that are on VeVe, got to talk to Mumba, got to talk to Nina, got to talk to Allison Bamcat, Ron, Luke Shea, a few others. All of them absolutely love the platform, but more so the community. And then that was a common talking point from them. So if it ain't raining, man, thank you for stopping by. Have a fantastic night. And yeah, also shout out to, oh, where'd it go? Sean. This man, okay, talk about people portraying themselves the same in real life as they do online. This dude's energy is unmatched. Okay, he actually won one of the giveaways at Kid Arcade's party. I wish I filmed. Somebody probably has it, but his reaction, dude, he jumped up and just started running around in circles. He's so loud. Such a positive guy to be around. Definitely made my trip very enjoyable. So if you guys are watching this, I'm talking to both of you guys. Absolute pleasure meeting you. And as you guys see on screen, Sean took the time to create some custom artwork for everybody in the group as well. So I have my own little Black Panther piece created, and which I'm in the process of framing right now. So I'll probably toss that on social soon enough, but you see it in the video. And then open arms. So I mentioned how everybody kind of welcomed everyone with open arms. For many people in our group, it was the first time kind of meeting each other. So I know Oz met Hanano and Dee for the first time, as well as myself. I met everybody first time, not showing my face, but I will soon enough. let me ease into it here. But Arcade, yeah, shout out to this man, because he gave us the keys to his flipping house so that we could just come and go as we wish. And I mean, got to see his setup in real life, his art around his house, so cool. He had like a clock that was dripping off the corner of his a table in his hallway, and he told me a little bit more about the artist, which I'm now, but such cool art, even cooler guy. I gotta say, he showed us some of the local burger joints. We went to a nice little diner for breakfast one morning, and then on top of all the stuff that he did for DCON and the party, this dude went over to the Magic Mansion where there was another group, and he started tattooing everybody for hours. I'm talking hours. Like, it was like 4.5, 5 hours just for KC, I think. But the amount of time and effort that this dude puts in is I said it before, I'll say it again, it's unmatched. So if you guys don't support him, take a moment to do that, because he adds so much value to the community. I had a one-on-one conversation with him at the party, and I said, I'm somebody who's always been a little bit more reserved, and I know I'm not too active in his chat, but he is one of my favorite content creators in the community. Not just because of the content he brings, but I think he's super talented. He's very well spoken, and just entertaining all around. So if you guys don't know him, check him out. And I'll say this right now, okay? Somebody clip this. If Arcade doesn't get a booth next year, the VeVe community is going to do it for him. All right? I said that to him. He needs a booth. And yeah, absolutely love his artwork. VeVe, get him on the platform, will you? And then New York. It's in the books for next year. That will be the event I am going to. It's actually on my birthday, so I figured that we'll do that one. And then I am still debating on whether I'm going to go back to Vegas for DCON or not, because that was an amazing time. And I did actually... There were some things on the bucket list that I wasn't able to check off. I wanted to get to Hoover Dam and the Grand Canyon. Didn't quite get there. And then I do also want to get a tattoo from Kid Arcade, which understandably he didn't have too much time to do. So hopefully I get back out there and do all those things. Hopefully VeVe has an actual booth next year. And yeah, shout out to everybody who made the experience what it was. It was a fantastic trip. So I am going to be doing a full video. Let me show you guys. I got a ton of content. Like I took pretty much just videos on this trip. All of these are videos, 95% of them. But oh, here's the pinball room I was talking about. And this was like 15 minutes before Arcade took me to the airport. So this place closed at 9. We actually drove there at 8:45. He was like, hurry, here's some coins. We're just gonna try and hit as many games as we can. And here I am filming instead of playing, but the pinball machines were so cool. So many different kinds. That, like, this was 7 or 8. There were rows and rows and rows and rows of them. Double Quill probably knows these guys, actually. But super, super cool. What else can I share with you guys? I don't want to give away too much. Oh, check these out. All right, so these were fully automated robot bars. Unmanned. You order your drink on the tablet, and then you walk up, and the robot picks the liquor from the ceiling and serves it to you, which is crazy. First time I ever saw something like this. That was cool to see. We got some stuff happening on the strip. Oh no, this isn't the strip. This is Fairmont. The zip line's above. We had Oz and Video Shane and Mission do that. And what was really cool is at the very end of this street was the hotel that a lot of people were staying at, the Plaza. So you could walk right out the front doors and just walk down this street. And Fairmont is considered like the downtown like entertainment. Well, I don't know if it actually is, but it's a popular like tourist spot. So that was pretty awesome. You're in walking distance of a lot of really cool stuff. Checking codec. Uh-oh. Not now. We got Caesar's Palace. Luke says, so bartenders won't be needed anymore. Unfortunately not. Fortunately not. I used to bartend. Here's a cool one. So Oz and I, they were setting up all the F1 stuff. So we were in one of the F1 booths here. They were showing, had a car just outside. And then this is a fully electric taxi robo taxi that are on the streets in Vegas, just for like testing purposes, but they're going public next year. And they're called Zoox, Z-O-O-X. And completely driverless, has a bench on one side, bench on the other, and then you have the tablets here for your music and stuff.
You can control HVAC for your specific seat as well as music. If you feel sick, you can pull over, emergency rider up ahead.
That's cool.
Exactly. And then the little black pads are actually wireless chargers as well. Oh wow. Yep. Got the Starry Night headliner.
Yeah, Starry Night headliner, like at the Rolls Royce. It's a cool little thing. It's a cool little thing. This was right around the corner. This was on the strip. This is the strip right here. Me whistling, because, yeah, I tend to do that a lot. And then I gotta say, a big highlight of the trip for me was actually last day. Video Shane and Oz and I, we walked the strip during the day, because at this point we actually hadn't been there. We're spending a lot of our time at DCON and Fairmont. Find it here. Oh. Oh, that's the Christmas section. Oh, right here. You have the water inside, which is something I've always seen in the YouTube videos and stuff online, but got to see this in person. It's really, really cool. Right around the corner from this place was actually a VR shop. And what was really neat about this VR shop is all the VR shops I've seen are the ones where you put the headset on, you have like maybe like a backpack, you're carrying a gun, and then you're standing on the 360 treadmill. So you run in whatever direction you want to go. This place was laid out so that the room itself actually mimicked the virtual environment. So the room was white, and then let's say, for example, there's a corner in the room. If you're wearing the headset, that exact same layout is in the game, but the walls aren't white. They have, like, you know, standing in, you know, a forest, and there's trees and everything around you. Walk around the corner. There's, you know, stairs in the room, and you would actually have to step up the stairs, and the actual game environment that you're in will have something that you're stepping up onto. So I thought that that was really unique. I've never seen any VR place like that before, so that was cool. Venice and Vegas. That's exactly right. Exactly right. Now, a highlight for me, I don't have too much content here, but it was actually the Pawn Stars shop. I mentioned that to you guys. We got to go to the old school Pawn Stars. If you guys watch this show, you know exactly what this is right away. Shout out to Chum Lee. But they had some really cool stuff in there. They had an authenticated John Gotti letter, Mob Boss out of New York, which was crazy. They had Taylor Swift's guitar in there. Some really cool items. More of the shop here. It's a tourist spot now, so it was just filled with people inside, but I want to click the arrows so that the videos just keep going, but it doesn't let me for some reason. Folder. Talk about a short video. But this is the shop. You guys might recognize it, might not. Yeah, the desk that they did all their deals at was right over here. And then they've opened up a shop, or a spot in the back of the shop for like clothing and kind of like merch sales. But they had some really, really, really cool stuff in here. A bunch of Pokemon cards as well, actually. Get a PSA Charizard in too. Some more displays at the back there. We got some cause pieces. Cool. Why keeps doing that? Shout out to Mission, by the way, dude. Mission is he's such a good dude. He's actually very impressive. The guy's got like an insane collection. He's got like 4 secret rare MC1s. He's got the partner statues and all that. He's got like 50 something. A kid called Beast. Got like 50 of those. Guy's collection is insane, but he's also super smart. Talking about like separating assets with your LLCs and all that. Shout out to this guy. Don't follow him on X. Goes by Mission. It doesn't show his face either, so I hope he's fine with this. But, he's got the PFP, so shout out to you, man. It was wonderful being able to spend some time with you as well. What else we got here? Suye booth. Or London Police. Yeah, so this is one of the pieces that they were actually painting on the spot. You can see it's not fully done yet. We have unfinished London Police work. I hate hearing my voice in chat. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is Suye right here. Suye. These two both manage Suye. Is there any footage of the nerd bar? Hey, biggest bro, I didn't take any footage of that bar on purpose, my man. Okay, so what he's talking about is this. I think this was first night I was in Vegas. We end up going to this bar. Some dude walks up to us and is like, "Oh, come to this bar." Hands us a card for a discount, and we walk upstairs, and we walk inside. We get some drinks, and in the corner of this bar is like a collectible shop. So they have like graded comics. They have different cards, like a bunch of different stuff, and they have like a graded Rick and Morty comic. Anyways, some cool stuff. Then you walk to another corner and there's an arcade. And then you walk to another corner and there's a wrestling, like a UFC cage. And then you walk to another corner and there's midget wrestling, like literally midget wrestling. There's a live show going on with midgets going at it in a ring and like bleachers around the ring. I kid you not. Then you go to another section and there's a bowling alley. And then another section with let's say a bull that you're supposed to ride that wasn't a bull. It was something a lot more inappropriate than a bull, but I won't say it for cop. Biggest bro can fill me in on this one, but it was an interesting place to say the least. So yeah, cool little place to spend our first night, but wasn't the only place we were at. Shout out to Oz. I ended up picking myself. Oh, actually, I didn't even notice. The board's right here. I didn't even see that the first time. I saw it at another booth. Okay, let me catch up on the chat here. Did you see the thunderstorm, the ceiling lights up with the lightning bolts? I didn't see that. Oh, I didn't see that, dude. Did we see Mission already on stream? So it's not a first. Okay, perfect. I didn't just dox him. Okay. That's good to know. Biggest bros. Giant white whale. There you go. Oh man, that was the last thing I was expecting to see too. That was so funny. Guri's sitting on the couch by himself over there for a second while people are getting drinks, and he's having the time of his life just watching people ride it too. He's just clapping, bopping his head up and down. Guri, dude. So funny. They also had the old school GameCube in the corner. Me and Oz were playing that for a little bit. Smash Bros. What is more inappropriate? Yeah, Sven didn't exactly get it. He's got the language barrier, but I'll explain it another time off stream. I want to make sure I keep things appropriate here, but yeah, we're in Vegas of all places, right? Walk down the street and get whipped by someone for crying out loud. Mission is cool, so humble. At no point did he one up anyone. No, he's such a genuine dude, and you know, I had some really cool conversations about you know. He's a father of two. He's a 28-year-old and I think a 24-year-old. It definitely doesn't look it, right? Because that caught me off guard at first. And he gave me a lot of advice in that department as well. So if you are watching this, man, I can't thank you enough. But I second what Guri said there, because I mean, Mission is going to be at the top of my list for people I was able to meet that trip. We had a lot of really cool conversations, spent a lot of time together. And he is someone actually that I've never engaged with prior to the trip. Him and I actually followed each other in Vegas. So, yeah, couldn't be happier to have met that guy. So, can't wait to see him again as well. I ended up picking up one of the prints. We had the... I'll toss it on X eventually. I don't know if I actually got it in this. Got it in another one. It's just a... There you go. The detail. I'm trying to find the close of their... Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to cover. We got the biggest bro on karaoke. Look at this. Here we go. Some stuff stays in Vegas. Exactly, Gurry. Exactly. There you go. Honey, man. Apps, if you guys don't know him, OG in the community. I want to actually, that reminds me now, I do want to play the full speech that Biggest Bro did because he says, oh God, cringe. No, look, jokes aside, I do got to say the speech that he gave, though, at this party was phenomenal. It was phenomenal, dude. I got to find this now. We're somewhere. Right here. Right here. Okay. Yeah, guys, you got to listen to this because if you haven't listened to it yet, we got Mission in the chat now. What up, fam? We were just talking about you, dude. Thank you for stopping by. I was just saying that out of everybody that I met on that trip, you were at the top of my list, man. Such a genuine dude. I really appreciate some of the conversations you and I had. So I really look forward to being able to catch up again, man, at another event. So thank you so much for stopping by. But yeah, guys, this is the opening speech the Biggest Bro gave at Kid Arcade's party. Absolutely crushed it. That's all I'm gonna say. Listen to it.
You guys realize what you're a part of right now? You don't. And I'm going to tell you. Preach it, brother! Amen. This is a community event.
By the way, guys, we were talking about the glasses earlier. He's wearing them right now.
All
So
that is needed is each and every one of you that makes our community fucking great. Hallelujah. I look at each and every one of you, and I already gave all of you motherfuckers a hug or something. I said something to you because I mean that shit from the bottom of my heart. I promise you. But I'm here to tell you why we are all here today. And one of the reasons why we're here is because of this man behind me, Kid Arcade.
look at all these prizes, guys. We got his art in the background. I mean, obviously, you guys already know how talented this guy is, but all the stuff that was given away, I mean, so much time goes in just setting up the event. But like the stuff here, this was the stuff that Klim actually brought as well, which was completely unexpected. That added to the whole experience as well. You have the poster that Kid Arcade made, which I'm so happy I got my hands on one of them. He only had like 10 left. So ended up picking up one of those. I'm going to frame that as well.
This man
Let's go.
has asked for nothing, but has given his all to all of us. Over 10,000 motherfucking NFTs have been given out to the community from this one man.
10,000.
No motherfucking AI needed, none of
100 comments.
All all from the heart. This is all the art you see behind me. It's all from this man's creation, his imagination, and everything. Everything that you're going to be winning to.
Actually, speaking of Klim, there he is right there with the glasses on as well.
And by I say, the prizes are immaculate, are from the community. Yeah. Do you hear me? From
Mission, brother, thank you so much for the tip, dude. Thank you so much.
The community, from people that wanted to spread the love and cheer.
Mission, actually, I'll tell you guys, I don't know if it's a funny story, but I mean, I feel like we'll probably look back on this one day and laugh. Mission stood in line at the Bear Bricks booth for about 2.5 hours. And for anyone who knows Bear Bricks, they got a bit of a price tag on them. And the big one at the event was the Michael Jordan Bear Brick. So I think the sticker was $1,300. But as soon as it sold out, it actually jumped right up to $8,000 US. And Mission was standing in line for about 2.5 hours, ended up picking up 3. One of the 3 he actually got was a Coca-Cola Bear Brick that he flipped right when he got out of line. Some dude walked up to him and pretty much offered him more money than he paid for, and he flipped it for like, I think it was several $100s. So I was like, there you go, right? So in the moment, everybody's like, awesome, he won. But what was kind of unfortunate here is when he was standing in line and he got to the end and he started buying his Bear Bricks, there were, I think, 6 of the Michael Jordan Bear Bricks displayed inside of the case. But because they had already reached their limit for the day, he was unable to pick it up. And man, I really wish you were able to get your hands on that. But yeah, it's just it's one of those things where you win some, you lose some. But wanted to share that as well because yeah, man, like I was talking about Mission's collection before. He has a ton of physical stuff, a bunch of a kid called Beast. His VeVe collection's awesome. He's got a really cool Elmonix collection as well. And then he picked up from the Mondo booth this really cool physical collectible. I actually don't remember what it was called. I don't know if you want to remind people in the chat, dude. But it was such a cool piece, and hopefully I can maybe look it up on stream, guys.
That is what
but it was like this giant red, like it was like a dragon sculpture, I think. Might be wrong about that, but no, if you guys didn't know Mission, he is a true passionate collector, so support that man if you aren't already.
This night is about, ladies and gentlemen. Look around. Look at each and every one of you. We're all from the fucking internet. Here we are, digital, in the fucking flesh.
Digital.
I see. This is fucking Dave right here. The fucking Omni homies out here. Yeah. The community is here. D and fucking Nano are here.
Got a big smile on my face right now, man.
All this
such a good speech.
Crypto Rain is here, no problem. Everybody's fucking here tonight. I love this shit. But let me introduce you to the man, the myth, the fucking legend. He hails from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Los Angeles.
Born in East Los Angeles. I got you.
Los Angeles.
I got you. You're here for him and give it fucking up for Kid Arcade.
Biggest Bro says a light shade. That was so funny. Dude, we need you like open in VeVe stream.
We're gonna get this.
That was such a good speech at the end of that video, but what else we got here? What else do we got here? Okay, so this was a game that Kid Arcade put together. I don't want to give away too much because I do want to show some of this in the video, but you know, again, shout out to this man because I mean, this in and of itself was so much work. So you can see he put together these cards, kind of like a bingo, and he had like these funny names for each and every one of them. So like Electra was called Fro's girlfriend or something like that. But pretty much what they did was they did like a random draw, and then you toss the stone on, and then first one hit the row got one of the giveaways. So such a fun thing to do. What else we got here? We got some more karaoke. We got Klim at his booth with his team. Such a good guy. Seriously, guys, if you aren't following him, show him some support. I think there's going to be some really big plans with this guy in the future. So that's just my feeling of it all. You guys want the face reveal? Fine. There I am. All right, gone. I'm not keeping that up long. What else we got? What was also awesome is we had a bunch of people on the trip who stayed at just a bunch of different hotels. So we kind of got to go from one to the next. We went from the Strat, where actually I visited all of the hotels on the Strip. We got, what's the biggest one? Caesars. Then we had the Venetian in Paris, and there was New York. So those were all the big ones on the Strip. And then you had, the Plaza, you had the Golden Nugget. That was a cool thing because a lot of a lot of the spots in Vegas are at the hotels, right? So being able to kind of see different art pieces like this on the ceiling was really all hand-blown glass flowers. Is that wrong? Super cool. I can't remember. I think it's the Venetian. I can't fully remember what hotel that was. What else we got here? Actual artwork at on. There was some very, very cool, like these Astro Boy collectibles were insane. Super cool. And Chris Brown actually came by the event. He was not this booth, but another one of the Astro Boy booths. But he was doing some signings there, so that was cool to see. Kryptoni was actually there as well, so I got to finally meet him, producer for Chris Brown. He's actually nominated for a Grammy, which is I think it's Chris Brown's Deluxe 11 or Deluxe 10. But shout out to you, man. It was really nice to finally put a face to the name. And Kryptoni was walking around giving out some merch as well, so appreciate that. Actually, funny enough, I'm wearing the shirt right now, actually. Gave me. I appreciate that. Yeah, here. Okay, so here's Nina. I'm not going to play the full video because I do want to put this in the full video, but this is Nina right here, guys. I mentioned she's actually still in school for, I think she said 3D modeling and Substance Painter. A platform that you use to kind of texture collectible or 3D models after you sculpt them. That was cool to listen about her. Oh, I came across this thing. Biggest Bro actually picked one up. I'm gonna DM these guys on Instagram because unfortunately I didn't have enough cash left. But if I did, I would have. This is an emulator. For anyone who doesn't know what an emulator is, it's pretty much like pretty much a system that allows you to, well, here. I feel like this is probably a better way of explaining it. So this emulator has PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, Game Boy, all on this device. There's over 15,000 games on this little device. And as you guys can see, it's got all like the Xbox buttons and stuff like that, the Game Boy buttons. But yeah, 15,000 games. Biggest Bro bought one. He was carrying it around with him, but for $150. I was like, that's a hell of a deal, just considering most of the time you have to pay individually for all of these games. 15,000. I don't know how they're getting away with it, but this little machine here was insane. The funny thing is that you can actually call the number that is on the collectible drop info. Which collectible, dude? If it ain't raining, boss is telling me to clock out since I'm sitting around watching YouTube. Still at work watching YouTube. Love it. Now, have a fantastic rest of your night, man. Thank you for stopping by, as always. What else we got here? All right, I'm going to do a few more videos, guys, and then wrap it up because I feel like I'm going to be talking about this all night if I don't. Saw little cool things like this as well. Just like wild little neat things all over the place. Now, actually, speaking of that, I do have a video here of a bunch of Frank stuff. So what was neat to see is there was a booth here that was actually showing some work from Frank Kozik from like the 1990s. Like fully sealed in the box. There was actually a one-of-one prototype. I'm trying to find the video. Oh, here are the Stormtroopers. These were cool. Multicolor. These were super cool. Oh, hang on a sec. I didn't even pick that up. Was that Sket 1? Oh, it's Sket 1. I didn't even pick that up. Sket 1 is on VeVe. Sket 1 apparently is actually a close friend of Arcade's as well. I gotta find this video now. The last of the... Oh, here are the skateboards I was talking about. So these are the guys that I mentioned the digital side to. Oh my lord, were they cool. So fully handmade, carved out. Bear Walker. I mean, come on. Digital, putting that on a wall in the VeVeVerse, that is beautiful artwork. And they had the blind box, like I was saying. So these, they'll come in a case, and then on the back you have the option of pulling like one of 12, and then there's different designs and stuff. So, yeah, very cool. They're also rideable, not just art pieces, but. Find this. Right here. Got it. Found it. We have Backdoor in the chat. First time I've been able to speak to you since I'm back, man. How you been? How you been? One of the biggest supporters of the channel. Okay, so this is the guy that actually worked with Frank. Right here. He was a super nice guy as well. But yeah, he was explaining some of the backstories behind these pieces. And this one right here is actually the prototype, one of one. I believe that model is on VeVe. Of course, we're in Vegas. But these ones are also on are sealed. Smaller Labbits from the 1990s. I think I get a shot later on in the video. There's the one of one prototype. It was fantastic, man. It was overwhelming in a good way. Yeah, I mean, you were in New York, right? So you understand how those types of things go. But it was, yeah, it was 100% worth it. I was saying how I got off the plane and I was like, what the hell am I doing? But it was, I'm so glad I did it. So one of the most unique trips I've ever made. Got some more right here. Bones. Now, I think this is the one on VeVe, but they actually made it so you can see through it. Maybe this is a different one entirely, but. Feel like I might have been moving the camera a little too fast, but bear with me, guys. First in real. What else we got? I'll do a let's do 3 more, and then I'm gonna wrap things up. So if you guys want me to cover anything else, now's your last chance to drop it in the chat. We got some more of the Astro Boy pieces here. Yeah, so this was the booth that Chris was at. So I guess he did a collab with some of these people, and he was signing them. Last one special. What else we got? Oh, here's Kid Arcade and Oz going hard on the Gauntlet Legends. This was like 15 minutes before Kid Arcade took me to the airport. Which was funny because, like, this is maybe... My flight was at midnight, and then I hadn't slept at this point, and then I ended up getting on a flight where, oh my gosh, crying baby, like, so many different distractions. So my 6-hour flight after that, I didn't sleep. And then I had a 4.5-hour layover that I didn't want to sleep because I got paranoid I was going to miss my flight, because on the way there, they actually changed my gate without telling me. I never got a text, no notification on the app, nothing. And I'm sitting at my gate, nobody's showing up. And so I go to check the list of gates, and they changed it. So I run over to the gate, and the girl's closing the door to the plane. Like, if I waited 5 minutes later, I would have missed it. So I was thinking about that on my way back. So didn't sleep during the layover. I ended up being up for like 36 hours. And I gotta say, when I got home, I kept thinking about this experience with Arcade. I was like, I haven't gone to bed yet. And last time I was with Arcade 12 hours ago at this wicked pinball arcade. I'm like, what's going on right now? Like, it's so weird where VeVe takes you, but I'm all for it. This was a really cool game.
Oh yeah, I need food.
And again, shout out to this, man. Like, it's experiences like this that really made the trip so unique, because if you don't know locals like this, you're not going to be shown places like this. And this was like just one of the spots, right? It wasn't super busy or anything like that. I mean, granted, it was 15 minutes before close, but it was such a cool spot. So, yeah. Can't thank him enough for that. And why don't we round it off with... Here, maybe we should do casuals. Casual. I gotta say, casuals karaoke. I mean, she was good. She was actually one of the bartenders. That's not the one I was trying to pull up though. Casual. Shout out to this man as well. It was a first for him, kind of showing his face. Genuine guy. I didn't get to speak to him as much as I wanted to. I got to admit, so I do want to hopefully spend some more time with him next time I see him in real life. But super nice guy, cares a lot about the community, and of course he runs the karaoke spaces over on X. So this is him in real life. He did such a good job. KC. Oh, it was an awesome time, guys. It was definitely chilly, I gotta say that, but it was nice how we had the inside and so But yeah, guys, that's a little sneak peek of Vegas 2024. Going to be dropping the full video next week. It's going to be a full-blown, like, I'm trying to go cinematic here. Like, I'm trying to follow in the footsteps of Vibesman. All right. So, I did want to release it today, actually, which is why I'm actually doing this live. But I didn't want to, it's not a video I want to rush. So, that will be dropping next week. And yeah, I'm really excited to get people's thoughts on it. So, I'm going to start wrapping up. So if there's anything else you guys want me to cover, let me know. But we talked about the VeVeVerse video. We talked about the Q&As and videos with Corey and MC. We talked about the DCON drops, experience at DCON, different artists, meeting different community members. It's been a hell of a stream, guys. We've covered a lot. And for anyone asking, when am I going to be turning the camera on? I know Evolved brought that up earlier. I am currently looking at different options. So I've never really like bought in a camera like that, so I don't exactly know what the best one is. So if you guys have any recommendations, let me know. I'm going to kind of ease my way into things. So bear with me there. But I again, huge shout out to all of these bright... where was it? Huge shout out to all... Oh, why does it keep changing on me? All these people right here. Hanano, Oz, D, Biggest Bro, Real Video Shane, Mission, Guri, Arcade, Sean, Atem, Comic Guy, Fro, Anon. All you guys were an absolute pleasure meeting. And I can't thank you guys enough for the experience. So, what is going on now? Oh, we got Biggest Bro gifting memberships in the chat. Dude, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I have like a new profound respect for that dude. Seriously. Seriously. I'm not trying to be like dramatic here, but wow. Wow, 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 wow. Barry says I do DCON every year. That is my favorite event. Yeah, I'm very happy that I started with a DCON. I was talking about that earlier. I think Comic-Con's a completely different experience. We still have people gifting memberships here. What is going on? Thank you, guys. Wow, wow, wow. Sven, you guys are so generous. This means a lot to CGD. 100%, I second that. Sven knows me really well in the community. He's probably someone who knows me probably the best in the community. I talk to him several times a week. Him and I are together a lot, so he knows me really well, man. And he's hitting the nail with the hammer. I'm never the best at this type of stuff, but yeah, I can't thank you guys enough, seriously. You guys will make CGD speechless. It's already happening, dude. It's already happening. What is going on? These alerts won't stop. Gifted. Wow. Wow. Thank you guys so much. Really, really appreciate you. And Biggest Bro, dude, stay in touch. Let me know what events you're looking at going to. I know a lot of people in Vegas were kind of wrapping up the trip saying that they're going to plan for New York. Some of us were talking about getting an Airbnb just because New York is kind of the opposite of Vegas. So in Vegas, you know, you have your accommodations that are a little cheaper because they want you to stay and then go out and spend money. And then your food's going to be more expensive. I mean, I was spending like $10 on a slice of pizza. In New York, it's the opposite. So food's cheaper. Accommodations are more, which is why we want to kind of go the Airbnb route. So we can get, you know, a bunch of people in a house. I think that's helpful for everyone. So yeah, that's going to be the event for me next year. If you guys want to catch up, meet me there. That's going to be the one. And it's still a question mark in the air of whether I'm going to do Vegas or not, but I'll probably find out a little. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys. Again, shout out to all those on screen right now. I don't think my experience would have been even close to what it was. Biggest Bro, Arcade, you know, Biggest Bro, the conversations you and I had, like, it means a lot. Seriously, dude. It does. Says Josh Manch. There you go. We got the CGD mansion. And Arcade, if you're still here, man, or if you watch this back, thank you so much for all the time, effort you put in. Thank you for giving us the keys to your flipping house, dude. That's like cool because I look up to you, and like I said, I just think you're super talented and entertaining to watch. So keep up all the awesome work. And yeah, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. So if you enjoy the stream, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're on X, toss the follow. And then as for next week, we'll have some pretty interesting content dropping. Gonna be doing the full Vegas video, and then I think the other one I have in mind is gonna be the video about Klim and Nourish. So if you guys are looking forward to that, turn on that bell and you'll be notified when I drop them. But again, thank you to everyone. Thanks for all the gifted memberships, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.
Again, love all the people that you've been having on. I still don't know what Gregory the Butler does, but listen, someday maybe we'll find out about that.
The time is now, the vibe is now. I see you moving towards my way. You want me to get close to you. I feel your body next to me. Feels like you were only there for a season, but we can relink, don't need reason. Cause tonight's about you. Tonight's about you. Girl, it's the way you move. Can't nobody doubt you. Tonight's about you. Tonight's about you. Tonight's about you. I know you don't play games. I know you the same, but you still find new ways to ignite all this passion. Make all of your waves, girl. I'm truly astounded by you. She light the room like a high beam. Smooth girl, you move like lightning. True queen, everything you do mean. Head to the shoes, kill it all like it's routine. Everything she do nicely. Independent woman on her own type of vibe. She got it on her own, gone, girl, you might be everything that make a young man sing. You that one dance singer. The time is now, the vibe is now. I see you moving towards my way. You want me to get close to you. I feel your body next to me. Feels like you were only there for a season, but we can relink, don't need reason. Cause tonight's about you. Tonight's about you. Girl, it's the way you move. Can't nobody doubt you. Tonight's about you. Tonight's about you.
Hey, yo, Phillies fan, we live. Let's see some hunters in the chat. Hunters in spaces, we burn it on me tonight. Let's go.
High heels in motion. Her time heals what's broken. I know you the same, but I can't help the notion that maybe if you spent one night we'd get close. And I don't know what that just might do. Still, girl, we can run that, what we done that. Cash your fancy, make a run back on a comeback. Girl, you know I want that scene. You I want that scene. Girl, ain't nothing that scene. Another one that's some trouble, some kill it, disrupt it, you kill it, baby, then double down. Give me, baby, make it, give me some, then she come around. I see that fire in your eyes. Let's burn this crib down for the night. The time is now, the vibe is now. I see you moving towards my way. You want me to get close to you. I feel your body next to me. Feels like you were only there for a season, but we can relink, don't need reason. Cause tonight's about you. Tonight's about